All right, I'm back. I'm back. I know that intro was a little choppy. I'm gonna figure it out though. I don't know what's going on with my intro, but it was choppy, and I apologize for that. I'm gonna have that fixed. What's going on? Let me know where you're checking in from. Let me know where you are checking in from. Come on in. Everybody, let me know where you're checking in from. I'm gonna let the room build up for a hot little minute. I gotta get the intro fixed, man. Everything was going all good until last week. And then it just started being choppy. So let me know where you guys are checking in from. Let me put this little update on Instagram real quick. I forgot to do that. Let me do that real quick as the room builds up. We're going to be talking about business credit. This was something that was requested. So I figured, well, it was requested Sunday. So I said I'll go ahead and knock it out today. A lot of this stuff I've talked about, in pieces here and there, but we'll just go ahead and put it together as a piece of content so that people can, see it and get some information from it later on in the future, and just put it all together. All right, so come on in. I'm just updating Instagram to let people know that I'm live, and then we're going to get started. I'm not going to waste too much time. We're going to get into it. Let me know how y'all feeling. Today. Let me put this link in here. Let these people know on Instagram that your boy is live. Let's see. Put that there. Put the link there. All right, bet. All right, so we live. Come on in. Come on in, y'all. Let me know where you are checking in from. All right, what we got? We got Brian in the building, VA, New Jersey, Alabama, Chicago in the building. We got Houston in the building, Philadelphia in the building, London, Kentucky in the building, Milwaukee in the building. What up, Mark? STL in the building. STL is in the building. All right, come on in. We talking about business credit tonight. We're going to break it all the way down tonight in one piece of content. Like I said, this is things that I've covered in gibbles here and there, but we're going to put it together collectively tonight and focus specifically on business credit, how to build it. We're going to talk a little bit about loans. We're going to talk about business lines of credit. We're going to dispel, well, I wouldn't even say dispel myths. I'm going to tell you what I think, and I'm going to tell you why I think what I think, and I'm going to tell you why what other people think. I don't think that, or I choose not to do that, and I'll give you the reasons why I don't choose to do that. All right. So come on in. Come on in. Florida in the building. We got some more from Houston. So Houston is in the building. A couple people from Houston. All right. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Sorry I'm late, guys, but I was trying to get that intro together. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I need to re-upload my intro into the streaming software or whatever. But it is what it is. We're gonna get it together though. We're gonna get it together. All right. So before I get started, I want to make an announcement. Next week, how many people we got in here so far? We got about 20 people so far. Next week we're gonna do a I'll just put it up here. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna post it up real quick so y'all can see. So next Thursday, I'm gonna have a conversation and a Q&A with the senior manager of contractor recruiting for Cardinal Logistics. All right. So the senior manager of contractor recruiting for Cardinal Logistics will be in the building next week. So a week from today, next Thursday at 8 p.m. All right, this is a great opportunity for you guys that are looking to get into the space, who are in the space. You guys get a chance to come out and ask questions to an executive within a logistics company. He's going to talk about Cardinal. He's going to talk about some of the accounts that they have. If you have questions on, possibly onboarding with Cardinal, this would be a great opportunity for you to ask those questions with the senior manager of contractor recruiting. This is the senior manager of contractor recruiting, so he's the national for contractor recruiting for Cardinal Logistics. They have a plethora of accounts, so take advantage of the opportunity next Thursday and come meet Mr. John. All right. This is going to be the first of many installments that I'm going to be bringing the people on the channel that you guys, would like to talk to and give you, the insight from, an executive standpoint, and all the questions that you ask me that I'm able to answer for you, and even the questions I'm not able to answer for you. Here's your opportunity, and you'll have future opportunities as I bring more people on, executives from some of your favorite logistics companies. All right. So that's next Thursday. All right. All right. So let's get into this real quick. I'm not going to hold you. Not expecting a lot of people. This won't be one of those 100 people nights because, when it comes to smart educational stuff, people really don't care for. They rather, get in a jam and then come later and, pout and cry about how they're not doing well, when here's an opportunity to learn about these things and, people aren't here. But shout out to everybody that is here. Arizona in the building. Nice was looking at Cardinal earlier today on Indeed. All right, Joe. Next week, next Thursday, John will be in the building, so you'll get a chance to ask as many questions as you would like to. All right. So first of many, I got some more lined up. I got some other surprises lined up later on down the line, but we're going to start off with Cardinal next week. All right. So let's get into it. Tonight, we're going to be talking about business credit. All right. So I'm going to pull this up and we're going to get straight into it. All right. We're going to get straight into it. So building business credit for your box truck and cargo van business. All right. All right. Let me put myself up here. All right. So the first thing I want to tell you guys is building business credit takes time. All right. I know there's people out there that saying they can build your business credit and have your business credit built for you before you even start the business. Listen. Building business credit is similar to building personal credit. All right. It takes time. All right. It takes time. It's like a flower, right? You water the plant, right? You water the flower, and over time it grows and it blossoms. All right. Same thing for business credit. All right. Instead of water, you're using money. All right. You pay your bill. All right. You keep your utilization at about 30% or under, and it grows. Your business credit will grow. It's like a flower. You water a flower, you pay your bill. You water a flower, it grows. You pay your bill, your business credit grows. Same thing. All right, and that's pretty much what it is. You got to be patient, right? It's patience. All right, so we're gonna talk about some key things on building your business credit, and the importance of personal credit. All right, and this is another, I guess, issue. I not an issue I've run into, but it's something that people come to me, that don't have the knowledge, and I always have to tell them, listen, you're just not gonna be able to go buy this or buy that without personally guaranteeing it. Mark, what is personally guaranteeing? It's just a fancy way for saying cosign. Your personal credit is going to have to cosign for the business. Long are the days of creating an LLC or creating a S corporation or C corporation and immediately applying for business funding, loans, business lines of credit, going out purchasing equipment solely under the business without personally guaranteeing it. Our forefathers, your Donald Trumps and all these powerful businessmen in the 80s and the 70s and the 60s and prior, they did this back then, and they kind of ruined it for people getting into business now. I always talk about early adopters. I'm going to get into early adopters later. As far as like this business line of credit stuff, I'm gonna give you another example of that later. But people, early adopters, they kind of ruined it. Same thing with the whole rental truck business. You got, I was an early adopter in my early career renting trucks and didn't have to meet a lot of the stipulations that a lot of the people that are entering into the space now are having to deal with because of people that have, I guess, kind of ruined it. So a lot of people ruined those perks of starting an LLC, starting a business, and just being able to go immediately and borrow money without your business being established. All right, so those days are over. So personal credit is very important. We're going to get into that. Building business credit takes time. All right, so let's get into it. All right, so first let's start with business credit cards. All right, Mark, what's a good business credit card to get? I'm going to tell you what's the best, but I'm also going to tell you what's the easiest. All right. The easiest business credit card that you can get to start building your business credit is going to be a Capital One Spark business card. The gold one, the one you see right here, the gold one. Why the gold one, Mark? Why not the blue one? Why not the green one? Okay. I have the gold one. I have the green one. I don't have the blue one. The blue one is for like rewards points. If you fly a lot, I fly a little. I don't fly a lot, so I don't really care about rewards points. The reason why the gold one is important, and actually the gold one is the first one that I got many moons ago, is because you only have to have a fair credit score in order to qualify for the Capital One Spark Gold card, whereas the other ones are on a tier-based level for qualifying from good to excellent. To qualify for the gold, you only have to have a fair personal credit score, all right? Because you have to personally guarantee these business cards as well. So what I want to do right now is, matter of fact, since I got this pulled up, why don't we just go ahead and take a look at the Capital One website, and that way I can show you the differences amongst the different levels of the cards they offer for business. Let me pull that up for you guys. For you guys real quick. All right, so here's the Capital One website for the business credit cards. All right, those are the green ones I talked about. There's different levels, and then those are the blue ones for the miles. All right, so here's the gold. All right, now notice this one says fair credit. All the other ones pretty much say excellent, good. All right. So fair. All right. This is guys for that. Got fair credit. Now let's scroll down a little bit. Let's look here. Here's another key factor. No annual fee. All right. This is very important. You don't want to pay an annual fee. You don't want to get a card that you got to pay an annual fee every year just for holding the card. So not only does, it accept you, if you have fair credit, right? There's no annual fee. Now this purchase rate, this APR 29.74, it is on the higher end. But here's the thing. You want to do 30% utilization, all right? You want to do 30. I don't worry about this, right? Because I'm not going to pay that anyway, all right? You're going to use the card and you're going to pay the stuff off, all right, immediately. You don't have to wait until your 30 days are up. You don't pay the minimum. You buy something and you just pay it off. As soon as it posts, you pay it off, all right? You don't have to wait. You can wait a week or a couple weeks, but just pay it off, all right? You don't want to utilize more than 30%. Why? The reason why you don't want to utilize more than 30%, because that tells the bank what? It tells the bank that you need the card, all right? The bank, if you use more than 30%, it lets the bank know that your business is having a hard time sustaining on its own. You need the card in order to sustain your business. So that's why you don't want to utilize your card more than 30%. You want to keep it under 30% or at 30%, and you want to pay that balance off, all right, in full, and then just use it again the next month and pay it off. Obviously, you have to use the card in order to build the credit, right? The good thing about Capital One is also you can apply for a credit increase, and you can do it right on the website. You don't have to call. You don't have to talk to anybody. They have an option on the website. Even the app, you download the app to your phone. 6 months, every 6 months, you click apply for a credit increase. If you've been doing what I'm telling you to do, 30% utilization, paying it off, boom, they're going to give you a credit increase, based on whatever the parameters are that they look for on, whatever, it may be an extra 500, it may be an extra 1500. Who knows? Everyone's situation is going to be different, but one way of building your business credit is with a business credit card. This is the easiest card that I know, all right, that you'll be able to get, would be the Capital One Gold card. Now, if you have a little bit better than fair credit, then your next card, I would say, would be this one right here, this Spark 1.5 Cash Select card. This also has a zero dollar annual fee, 28% APR. Like I said, guys, you don't want to carry these balances over month to month to month to month to month. That's how you're going to end up paying all this interest. You're just using the card to build credit. You're not using the card to pay your bills or things like that. If you listen to me, you should have cash flow. All right. You should have cash flow. You just want to use the card to build your business credit. All right. So don't rely on these cards. I've never been the person to rely on business credit. I use business credit and have used business credit in the past in case of emergencies. You never know what's going to happen, and you kind of want those cards to be there in case of emergencies. You want your business to sustain on its own. All right. So here's the two cards. First, for you guys that got fair credit. All right, fair credit. Let's click on fair credit and see what fair credit is to them. All right, I've defaulted on a loan more than once. So, well, no, that's rebuilding credit. I'm sorry. I've defaulted on a loan in the past 5 years. So they consider that fair. I have limited credit history. I've had my own credit card or other credit cards for less than 3 years, including students, people new to the U.S. or authorized users on someone else's credit card. All right. Then you got good credit. I have not declared bankruptcy or defaulted on a loan in the past 5 years. I have a credit card or loan and have not been more than 30 days late on any payment in the last year. And then for you guys that got excellent credit, you got excellent credit. So I don't have to read that. All right. So that is Capital One. That is who I suggest you guys go with if you are looking for a business credit card. It's going to be the easiest card to get. I got the gold one. I got the green one. All right. I also have some other business credit cards. Those might be a little bit harder to obtain, but I'll mention them to you now. One is a PNC. That's an actual credit card, not a debit. That's a credit card, and a Barclays card. All right. A Barclays card as well. But check out the Capital One gold card for you guys that have fair credit, and green card for you guys that have better credit than fair. All right, so let's get to the next topic for building business credit. That is my recommendation for business credit. Now, another way of building your business credit is to establish credit with vendors. All right. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, as I always am. Keep it funky with you. Now, to each his own. I'm just telling you what I do and have done. You can do what you want to do, but this is a way for you to build your business credit. All right, you can establish credit with vendors. Not something I do. Now, Universal Premium is who we've used for fuel cards over the years. All right, they report. All right, once upon a time when I was running 15 trucks, obviously a credit card wasn't the option. I wasn't going to give everybody a credit card. I wasn't going to send somebody to fill up trucks every day, so I had to utilize fuel card system. I showed a stack of Universal Premium cards on a live maybe 2 or 3 months ago. I showed a stack of those cards for all the trucks. All right, so they report, all right, to the credit bureau. Now, you got other vendors that report to the credit bureau as well, like Uline, Quill, Granger. All right. Now, here's why I've never utilized vendors, not just to build business credit. I'm going to tell you why I never utilize vendors. All right. And I know I've seen and I've heard other content creators, give this spiel about utilizing vendors to build your credit. But what they don't tell you, probably what they don't know, is a lot of these vendors like Uline, Quill, and Granger, the stuff that you're buying, you're paying double the price of what you should really be paying for this stuff. All right. I used Uline very early on, 2011, 2012, for shrink wrap for a moving company. But once I was, I was schooled that, there were other alternatives to me purchasing large amounts of shrink wrap at a fraction of the cost. I moved away from Uline. The reason I went to Uline is the same reason a lot of people new into this business go to Uline. They're just advertised, all over the place. And when you type in certain equipment that you may be looking for your truck or whatnot, they come up number one because they spend 6 figures to 7 figures in advertising and marketing on Google Ads. All right. But that's not, I don't recommend using them. I think you can build your business credit and the other 2 ways. I haven't showed you the last way yet, but the first way with the business credit and then the next way that I'm going to show you, I think those ways are fine. You can build your business credit by getting vendor accounts with Uline, Quill, and Granger. They'll put you on a net 30. You pay the bill. They'll report it to DMB and to all the other credit bureaus. Fine. But let me show you something real quick. I want to show you something really, really fast. Let me pull it up real quick. And I just want to do a little compare and contrast. And then I'll explain to you why I'm against it. All right. Nothing against them personally, but I'm a person who always talks about margin and saving as much money as possible. So let's go to Uline. All right. So Uline, we're going to look at stretch wrap, right? Use a lot of stretch wrap. For you guys out there that have asked me about starting a moving company, this is for you. All right. So let's look at stretch wrap. All right. There's other things we can look at that you may utilize for your box truck or your cargo van business, but stretch wrap is something that universal that I think everybody uses, especially if you're in the final mile business. You need stretch wrap. All right. So we're going to go to the blown stretch wrap. All right. So now let's take a look at this. All right. Now, quick lesson, stretch wrap. We don't use thin stretch wrap. You use the good stuff. You want to get at least an 80 gauge stretch wrap. We don't do 60. They don't even offer 43. Some people offer 43 gauge, 60 gauge, 70 gauge. Minimum you want to use is 80 gauge. So what I buy is 80 gauge. I buy the 18 by 15. All right. 18 inches by 1,500 feet. 80 gauge. All right. The GA means gauge. All right. Shrink wrap. All right. All right. So a case of shrink wrap, 4 comes in a case. All right. Here on Uline, it's about $20 a roll, right? And if you add this up, it's going to come out to $80, right? You see over in this corner, $80, right? Boom. All right, did I add it right here? $80? Yeah, it popped up. Well, shoot. No, we want to add 4 rows. Hold on. Well, it's $80. I keep adding it, so it keeps adding it up. So it's $80. I don't know why it keeps disappearing. All right, so it's $80. All right, so $80 a case. All right, so now that's if you buy it on Uline. It's going to be $80 a case for 18 inches by 15 feet of shrink wrap. But let me show you something real quick. I want to show you something real quickly here. Let me pull this up. I got to switch this screen now. We want to go somewhere else. Now, I buy a lot of my moving supplies from a company called CDS, which is a moving supply warehouse company. They're national. It's a national chain. Another national chain is New Haven, that you can buy your moving supplies, your box truck supplies, cargo van supplies from. All right. So that's some more sauce for you too right there. All right. Now let's take a look at Amazon. Now, when I'm not able to go out to CDS because it's kind of out here, it's only one in the state and it's out in the suburbs, I found a company on Amazon that sells really, really good quality shrink wrap. All right. Now let's compare the two. All right. So we're going to shrink. All right. This is the company here. All right. And I'm putting y'all on game now. You might want to write this down. All right. So a case of shrink wrap, and this is good shrink wrap. This is the shrink wrap that I ordered. All right. The name of the company is International Plastic, and I'm vouching for this. This is 18 inch by 1,500 feet, 80 gauge shrink wrap. All right. This stuff is strong and it's durable. Now look at the price, $68.88. All right. When you're running a business, you're ordering this consistently. Lots of it, especially a moving company. If you're doing final mile delivery, you're going to be ordering this quite handsomely as well. Now, you're like, Mark, it's only $12. I'm building my business credit. But what does Mark always tell you about margins? You want to save as much money as possible. When you're ordering this stuff, if you're running a successful business and you're doing a volume of moves, or your trucks are consistently running final mile 5, 6, 7 days a week, you're utilizing these materials, right? So if you look at how many cases you buy over the year and you times that times $12, you'll see the money add up. And this is why I don't utilize Uline. There's other places that you can go buy the same materials for a fraction of the cost. All right. Yes, Uline does report to the credit bureau, your DMBs and the other three, but the prices are very, very high. They're very, 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 very high, and you can save a lot of money going elsewhere. So this is why I don't want to say I don't support them, but I don't coach people into utilizing these companies because I want you to save money. I understand the importance of saving money, all right, because those dollars, they add up. Once again, Uline does report, Quill does report, Granger does report. These companies here are more for larger organizations that, are big organizations that just have money to burn and they're just writing it off anyway. When you're a small business person, small owner operator, every single dollar counts. So, $12 added over the course of how many cases you buy out of the year, it adds up. All right. So once again, that's my take on vendors. These are things that I don't need a net 30 for. All right. This is what we got cash flow for. We're buying these things right out. All right. So that's my take. If you're going to utilize any vendor, I think, to build your business credit, let it be a fleet fuel card. These companies, I personally say leave alone. You can do what you want, you know what I'm saying? But me, I just gave you the reason why. I showed you an example why that I don't think they're a good idea to build business credit, because although you are building your business credit, you're spending a lot more money on those things, whether it be shrink wrap, whether it be ratchet strap, whether it be boxes, whether it be tape, whatever. You can go to CDS and buy this stuff a lot cheaper. You can go to New Haven, buy this stuff a lot cheaper. Those are moving warehouses, national chain. You can get your dollies, your mag liners, your shrink wrap, your tape, your E-tracks, all that stuff for your truck at those places cheaper. Even Amazon, you can get this stuff cheaper. All right, so let's move on to the next one. Keep it going. Equipment financing, another great way to build your business credit. All right, now this is one of the main things that people come to me with. You know what I'm saying? Mark, I don't have no business credit. All right, do you got personal credit? Yeah, I got personal credit. All right, how's your personal credit? Man, it's good. I'm a 750. I'm 800. I'm a 725. All right, well, go get your truck. Go get your van. Well, man, I don't have business credit. It don't matter. You're going to have to guarantee it anyway. All right, so, a lot of people come to me because people have told them that they need established business credit in order to acquire equipment, and that's not true. All right, here's the thing: where you have established business credit or you don't have established business credit, your first go around, you're going to have to personally guarantee it. All right, you're going to have to personally guarantee it. All right, the reason why is because your business isn't established yet. All right, you don't have a rapport. You don't have no one is going to trust that the business is going to withstand. All right, so we need to put some type of somebody needs to guarantee this. You got to co-sign for this. All right, you got to co-sign for it. That's just the way the cookie crumbles nowadays. All right, so if you have personal credit and it's good, and this is why, now I know I spoke on this earlier, I said I was going to speak on it later. Now let's talk about personal credit. It's very imperative that if you're starting a business, you have fair to excellent personal credit, because you're going to have to personally guarantee pretty much everything that you get initially. All right. Later on down the line, you'll have some creditors, some lenders that will probably give your business the opportunity to finance things without guaranteeing it. But that's after you built the rapport and you've shown them that you're credible and that you pay your bills on time. For instance, you go to Ford, you get you a brand new T250 high top extended lift. You just start your business. You got a 750 personal credit. Your business business credit isn't established yet, but you're looking to start your business. You go in there. They're going to tell you, look, okay, we'll give you the van, but you're going to have to personally guarantee it. And that's just basically it. I've done it. All right. Everybody else that is getting into business, that's new into the business, has done it. After you pay off that T250, no matter whatever you take out, 48 months, 60 months, 72 months, right? Whatever. So let's say 60 months. You take out a 60 month, you pay it off in 60 months. You decide to go back after that 5 years and get you another van. Now you have an established rapport with the lender, all right, the dealership, and the second time around, they'll be more, they'll give you an opportunity to purchase another van, let's say, a piece of equipment, without having to guarantee it. They'll allow you to purchase it straight under the business. Now, this goes for equipment. This goes for business credit as well. All right. Business credit cards, those first business credit cards you get, that Capital One card, the gold one that I showed you, the fair, you're going to have to personally guarantee that. That's why they say personal credit fair. All right. You got to have fair personal credit because you're going to have to guarantee it. All right. As you build up your business credit and your business credit becomes strong, lenders are going to look at you differently. All right. They'll be more apt to give you an opportunity, the business an opportunity, I should say, to go out on its own. But equipment financing is a great way to build your your business credit. Purchasing a piece of equipment under your business, personally guaranteeing it. When you personally guarantee it, it's reporting to the business credit. It's reporting to the business credit. Your personal credit only comes into effect is when the business starts to default on the loan. If the business gets behind, then they'll start hitting you up. Hey, Joe Schmo, what's up? ABC Trucking ain't making this payment. What you gonna do, Joe Schmo? You gotta pay this $650, man. The business ain't cutting it, so we we own you. You know, what you gonna do, Joe Schmo? You got to pay. All right. But, you know, it's reporting to the credit bureaus for your business credit. So don't think when I say, oh, you're personally guaranteeing it, it's not reporting to the business credit bureaus. It's reporting to the business credit bureaus. But it's very important that you have personal, fair to excellent personal credit. So if you're looking to get into business and you know you got to go out and finance a piece of equipment, a cargo van, a truck, and you know your personal credit ain't it, start working on your personal credit. It's imperative that you start working on your personal credit. Someone asked me, well, I'll worry about my personal credit later. I'm just going to work on my business credit. And I had to tell them, listen, your personal credit is what you need to push to be able to acquire things so that you can build your business credit. You got to personally guarantee these things. You have to co-sign. Your personal credit is going to have to co-sign for the business. But this is a great way. All right. This is a great way. Some people have the capital and they choose to buy their equipment cash, and that's fine. You know, my first few trucks I bought cash, right? And that's fine. You know what I'm saying? But if you're hell bent on building business credit, you may want to go out and purchase a piece of equipment where you can pay on it over a period of time with a creditor that reports to all the credit bureaus, all right, including DNB, which is Dun and Bradstreet, all right? All right, now let's talk about business loans. Another question a lot of people ask me, all right? So what I did was I put down the requirements. These are minimum requirements. Now, each bank is going to have more requirements than this, and they're going to vary depending on banking institution, all right? But these are the minimum requirements for all the banks, all right? And there's one in particular that I have to tell people over and over and over and over again, all right? So let's go through them. Personal and business credit scores. Notice it says personal and business credit scores. So even with a bank business loan, you're going to have to personally guarantee it. You're going to have to personally guarantee it. So personal credit is very important, all right? Personal guarantee, all right? Annual revenue, all right? They want to know what your annual revenue is. At least 2 years in business. So all the newcomers to business that want capital or think it's just they can just go apply for a business loan. No, it's not that easy, all right? No one is going to give you money unless you've been in business at least 2 years. They're not going to talk to you. They're not going to let you go to the business loan manager's office and sit down and have a conversation. Before you even get to the office, they're going to ask you this question. I promise you, go into a bank tomorrow, pick your bank, Chase, Bank of America, Fifth Third, PNC, whatever. Go into one of these large banks and say you want to speak to a business loan officer. Before they even introduce you, they're going to say, okay, well, how long you been in business? Oh, 8 months. They're going to come back with a piece of paper that's going to have all the minimum requirements. They're not going to talk to you. Why aren't they going to talk to you? Because most businesses fail within the first year. They're not going to take a risk on loaning you money when majority businesses fail in the first year. They want to see that your business can sustain. All right, after you've been in business 2 years, then, okay, come in. We can sit down and have a conversation and see if we can do something for you. All right. But 2 years in business for a traditional bank loan. I'm going to give you some other alternatives a little bit later or next. But 2 years for a traditional bank business loan. Business industry and size, they're going to want specs on the industry that you're in. So you have to have all this information. Business plan, financial statement, and loan proposal. Now, I've done a live stream on business plan, financial statements. I haven't done one on loan proposals, but these are things that you guys are going to need. I talk to a lot of people in coaching sessions, you know, and this is not to rag on anybody. You guys know who you are. And I get on y'all in the coaching session. I say, man, y'all know how I am. Don't come to me if you don't got these numbers. You know, I talk about this stuff on live. You got to come correct. You got to have these things. You got to know what you're making. You got to know what you're paying yourself. All right. So these are things that you're going to need. If you can't present me with these things, how are you going to go to the bank and sit down with a loan officer and not have these things? Your P&L sheet, your cash flow, you need all of this stuff. All right. So this is why I went back a few lives ago and I said, for you guys that don't have a CPA, Get the QuickBooks program. Pay the $15 minimum subscription a month and input all that information in so it can do it for you. And that way, at least you'll have some type of visual to look at as it's itemizing these things for you. All right. I stress to you guys all the time that you got to stop thinking like a box trucker and start thinking like a business person. All right. The business person has all these financials, your P&L and all that stuff. The bank is going to want to see this. No bank is going to give you anything without having all of this stuff. All right. All right. So this is what you need. Minimum requirements for a bank business loan. All right. So let's get into hard money business loans and lines of credit. We talked about the business loans. All right. Most people aren't going to qualify for a business loan. I'm keeping it 1,000, 1 million, gazillion with you. Most people don't qualify for business loans. All right. It's hard to get a business loan. All right. It's hard. All right. Now, let's talk about hard money loans. Now, before we talk about this stuff, because I know a lot of people be watching my lives and they get the sauce and then they run off. I'm going to give you a disclaimer. You go get you a hard money loan, all right, and you get into trouble, don't come back to Mark. I ain't going to want to hear it because I'm telling you now, these loans are called hard money loans for a reason. It's hard money, all right? It's hard money, all right? You're going to always pay more for hard money, than you would at a traditional bank. If you qualify for a traditional bank loan, your interest rates are going to be much lower than getting a hard money loan. You're buying money. A loan ain't nothing but buying money. All right. I borrowed 10 from this institution. They say, okay, well, we're gonna give you 10, but you gotta pay us 15 back. So that means I'm paying 5,000 to borrow 10. It's costing me 5,000. It's costing me 5,000 for 10,000. I'm buying 10 for 5. Well, I'm buying 10 for 15 actually. So I'm buying 10 for 15,000. 10,000 is costing me 15. I gotta pay the 10 back, right? And I gotta pay 5,000 on top of that. All right. So you're just buying money. That's all it is buying money. All right. So, but with a hard money loan or hard money line of credit, you're gonna pay a lot more interest. All right. All right. So now here's 3 companies that I've utilized in the past, not for loans, but for business lines of credit. All right. It's 2 different things, loans, and then you got business lines of credit. Now I put an X through cabbage, right? Why did I put an X through cabbage? All right. I didn't know up until today when I was actually building out this PowerPoint that I knew that American Express had acquired Cabbage, because I actually did a video on Cabbage maybe about 4 or 5 months ago. What I didn't know is that they filed bankrupt due to all the PPP scams. A lot of people that they were pushing the PPP money through, ran off on the plug twice, and Cabbage now and a few other companies are, they in some trouble. So, American Express separated from Cabbage. Cabbage is now operating as Case Servicing, not Amazon, but American Express pretty much dissolved Cabbage after they acquired them. If you had a previous loan or previous business line of credit with Cabbage, there is a portal that you can go through and continue paying that off. But Cabbage is pretty much defunct. So we can't utilize that. Now I'm going to take the opportunity here to talk about Cabbage. Now I got a business line of credit with Cabbage in about 2015, 2016. We used it. It was like 10 grand. We used a little bit of it. Then I stopped using it. It really wasn't a need for me to use it. So I haven't logged into the portal in quite some time. I think the last time I logged into the portal was October when I did that video on Cabbage. All right. So I wasn't aware, but let me talk about early adopters again. This is another great example of early adopters. Why? Because Cabbage was a company that gave a person an opportunity if they had been in business 6 months for capital, whether it was a loan, right, or a business line of credit. They gave you an opportunity for new businesses for working capital. Now that's over with because people have messed it up. Same thing with the rental truck. Same thing with a lot of other things. All right. As time goes on, people are always going to mess stuff up. So one of the only companies that did give people an opportunity, if they weren't in business a full year, 6 months was the minimum requirement, is no longer here. So Cabbage is out of there. All right. On deck. Let's move on to on deck. Let me pull them up. Let me show you what their requirements are. And then we can talk about on deck. Now, this is another company. This is actually the first company that I actually got a business line of credit from back in 2014. All right. So 2014 is the I did business with on deck for a business line of credit. And good company. I can't say anything bad about them. When I, got these lines of credit back then in 2014, the company was very new. They were very new, and they hadn't been acquired yet. They hadn't went through what the changes that they've been through now. It's a big company now. It's called On Deck Capital. But let's take a look at them. Let's take a look at On Deck. Let me do this real quick. Should I put myself on the screen? Probably not. You don't need to see me. All right, so let's look at On Deck real quick. All right, so here's the two forms of working capital that they'll give you guys. All right, they're going to give you guys business line of credit, which I talked about. I am going to put myself on the screen. Why not? Business line of credit, right? And a term loan. All right, so let's talk about this term. Let's talk about the line of credit first. Let's talk about the line of credit. Let's see here. All right. So the line of credit used for managing cash flow, such as buying inventory, making payroll, get a revolving line of credit with access to cash. All right. Loan amount $6K to $100K. 12-month repayment term resets after each withdrawal. All right. All right. And then for the on deck term loan, get one lump sum of cash up front with the option to apply for more when you're halfway paid down. $5K to $250K, repayment terms up to 24 months. All right, so they had a loan that was a daily debit loan, but they've since gotten rid of that. That's the loan that I say that you guys don't want to get, because what they do is they take money out your account every single day. It's called a daily debit loan, and that's not something that I recommend you guys get. All right, so here's the minimum requirements to be able to qualify for the term loan or the line of credit. 1 year in business. All right, so a little bit different from a traditional bank. Minimum 1 year. I know it's not the 6 months like Cabbage, but Cabbage is no longer here because people messed it up with the PPP. So 1 year in business. Your personal FICO score 625, not bad. Business annual revenue. All right, a little bit different from when I was dealing with them early on, 100K. All right, so they didn't require 100K back then. They require 100K now. If you guys are doing final mile, if you guys are doing moving, even if you guys are doing middle mile, you should be seeing $100,000. All right. Business bank account, yes. So here are the minimum requirements. Key right here, 1 year. All right. Business line of credit is a revolving credit line, meaning they're going to give you, let's say 10 grand. You qualify for 10 grand. They're going to put 10 grand in an account where you can log into and you can withdraw down on that money as you need it. You're only going to pay interest on the money that you draw down. So if they give you a $10,000 line of credit, and let's say you need to borrow $1,000 out of that $10,000, you're going to log into your On Deck portal. You're going to withdraw $10,000. You're going to push that from your On Deck portal into your business account. You can push that through. It should be there the next day. I don't have an open line of credit right now with them, but I think for 1% or 3%, you should be able to push it through right away. For 1% or 3%, I'm not sure. Push it through right away to your business account, and you're only going to pay whatever the interest rate that you have that you signed up for on what you borrow, right? So you'll still have $9,000 still revolving. If you need to pull down on that, you'll only be paying interest on the 1,000, and as you pay the 1,000 back, whatever you pay back out of the 1,000 back into that revolving line of credit to replace that, and then that money will be available to draw down again. All right. So that's the on deck line of credit, and then the term loan is like a traditional term loan, except it's a little bit different than a traditional bank because a bank will give you a longer time to pay it back, whereas a hard money loan is going to be a shorter amount of time. And they're saying repayment terms up to 24 months. Obviously, 24 months would be the top of the tier, which means you have to have really strong credit. If they do qualify you for a term loan and your credit is good or fair, then they're going to want their money back probably somewhere between 6 months to a year and a half, depending on how much they give you and what your credit is like. That's going to determine when they're going to want their money back. All right. So that is on deck. All right. So now let's talk about this last one. I've dealt with them as well for a business line of credit. The next one we're going to talk about is Credibly. All right. Credibly, business line of credit. All right. Let me pull them up. I should have just pulled them up when I had on deck up. Now, there's other companies that you guys can source or whatever, but these are companies that I've used in the past for lines of credit. So I'm not gonna, recommend you something like this where it's involving money. If I haven't utilized it, I'm not just gonna say, okay, well, here's all these companies, and let's say some of them are crooks, and then you go use them, and then you come back to me and say, oh, why you recommend this company? I'm not gonna do that. You can go out and look for these other companies on your own. I'm not gonna show you when it comes to dealing with, lines of credit and capital if I haven't at least experimented with them on my own. All right. So, all right, let's talk about Credibly. Let's take a look at them real quick. All right. Let's pull them up. All right. So let's see what they offer. Small business loans, working capital loan. We want to talk about working capital because that's what people are most interested in. All right. All right. So max size loan up to 400,000, term length 6 to 18 months. All right. So they're a little bit different. They want their money back in up to a year and a half. So they're willing to give you 6 months up to a year and a half. Factoring rates right here. Now here's the daily debits I talked about. They got you two options, daily or weekly. They're not waiting on month, right? Why? Because it's hard money. Why is it hard money, Mark? Why is it hard money? Because you're a risk. Hard money means a risky loan, right? Risky loan, we're not waiting a month. You might spend that money. You might make it and then spend it. You might not put our money to the side. You made our money, right? And instead of you putting our money to the side that you owe us, you spent it. All right. So we not waiting. You hard money. You a risk. So we need our money every day. Every day when you make some money, we need some of it. Or every week when you make some money, we need some of it. We not waiting no month because we don't trust you. That's why it's a hard money loan. All right. Put your loans capital use without worrying about when to send your payment, blah, blah, blah. Eliminate the headache of financing and focus on growing your business with a capital loan company like Credibly. All right. So I don't recommend these types of loans. I don't recommend hard money loans. Now, hard money business lines of credit, different ball game. Why? Because you don't owe anything unless you draw from it. And I don't suggest you draw from it unless it's an emergency. And if you draw from it, I suggest you pay it back expeditiously. All right. I don't suggest that if they give you a $20,000 line of credit, you withdraw the whole 20. If something came up and you need 500, withdraw the 500, pay it back. That money's just sitting there. It's just sitting there. All right. If you don't need it, don't touch it. If you know that you're not the person that just knows you got 10, 15, 20,000 sitting over here and you just can't go on about life without touching it, you know you're going to touch it and mess that money up, then it's probably not for you. Same thing with a business loan. All right. So that's working capital. Those are term loans. Let's go to lines of credit. I know they have lines of credit with Credibly because I've dealt with Credibly. All right, business line of credit right here. All right, funding when you need it. Apply once and get access to a revolving line of credit up to $250,000. All right, pay only on what you draw. Enjoy lower interest rates than business credit cards, and you'll pay interest only on the amount that you actually use. All right, so that's business lines of credit. Get approved in little as 4 hours. They do approve you very quickly. The underwriters work very quickly and credibly as they do it on deck as well. Funds deposited directly into your account. They can push that money through the same day, as long as underwriting approves everything prior to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They'll push that money straight through. Daily, weekly, and monthly payment and remittance options. So on the business line of credit side, they do give you an option to pay daily, weekly, and monthly. All right. So business line of credit is going to always be what I recommend for you guys to go out and get if you're in dire need of some type of working capital. Listen, I get it. I get it. You never know what might happen. Not everybody is going to have a smooth ride to the top. Things happen. This is why I suggest that, instead of going out and getting one of these hard money business loans, I suggest that you go ahead and get a business line of credit and have that money sitting there in case of emergency. If you don't need it, don't touch it. All right. So that is hard money. We talked about credit cards. What else? Yeah, that's it. So that's hard money business loans and lines of credit. Cabbage is out of there. So I recommend On Deck Incredibly. Once again, I recommend the business line of credit for your business. So if you feel like you want some money just sitting on to the side in case of emergency, you've been in business at least 6 months, go ahead and apply with those companies for the business line of credit. Bank business loans, once again, these are going to be the minimum requirements for a business loan if you're looking to go through a traditional bank. All right, if you ain't been in business 2 years, don't waste these folks' time. Don't waste your time. If you don't have a business plan, which I did a live on, all right, I taught you how to build a business plan. I showed you how to use artificial intelligence to outline the business plan for you. So all that you had to do was go ahead and input the information. We've talked about financial statements. I talked about cash flow. We talked about P&L. Like, I've talked about all this stuff. Ain't no reason none of y'all should be going other places spending $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10,000 for these mentorships that y'all cry about, and they ain't showing you none of this stuff. All right. So, and I'm keeping it 1,000. I'm not hating on nobody, but I've seen some of these mentorships and they not showing you no P&L because they don't know none of this stuff. They didn't go to school for business. All right. They can't show you this stuff. I did lives on this stuff. Go back and look at it. So if you're going, you got to have this stuff. All right. And a loan proposal. You got to know how to put a loan proposal. If you ain't got this stuff, don't waste these folks' time. Don't waste your time going in there embarrassing yourself. All right. We talked about equipment financing. This is probably the best way I think you can build your credit, just by buying and financing a piece of equipment. You're in the trucking business, so it's going to be your truck or your van. All right. We talked about vendors. Listen, to each his own. I'm giving you the information. All right. There's, of all the ways that you can build your business credit, this is one of them. This is not one of the ways I recommend. Why? Because most of these vendors charge exorbitant prices. All right. On things you can get for way cheaper elsewhere. All right. I always talk about, maximizing your profitability. I talk about margins. Every dollar counts. All right. Every single dollar. All right. And, I showed you an example of shrink wrap, other materials you're going to use for your business. These companies are going to charge a lot more than if you went to CDS or you went to New Haven. All right. Some of this stuff you can even buy quality on Amazon. All right. So you can utilize these vendors if you want to. Just know that the stuff that you're buying, all right, you're paying a lot more for these items. All right. Yeah. All right. Fuel cards. I don't recommend a fuel card unless you got a fleet of trucks. All right. Um, when you're dealing with a fuel card, you got to understand every 2 weeks you got to pay that bill. So it's not once a month. Every 2 weeks you got to pay that bill. So if you don't have a fleet of trucks, then I think you should get a business credit card. Use a business credit card to fill up your truck. There's no sense of getting a fleet card and paying monthly maintenance fees on a fleet card if you don't have a fleet of trucks. All right, you don't have to pay monthly maintenance fees on a credit card. All right, it's fees you got to pay when you have a fleet card. And if you don't have a fleet, then it just doesn't make sense, in my opinion, to get a fleet card. I say get a good business credit card, utilize that, build up some points. If it's just you and your one truck. All right. So what else? I'm just going backwards. Once again, business credit card, another great way of building your business credit. I gave you what I recommend. This is probably the easiest, if not the easiest, business credit card to get to start off with. You only have to have fair personal credit. You are going to have to personally guarantee it, just like you don't have to personally guarantee any piece of equipment that you get. This is the best option. I think it's easy to get. Hit that like button too, guys. I see 60 people, whatever, in the room, 32 likes. Hit the like button for the kid, please. I really appreciate it. All right, so this is the business credit card that I think everybody should go out and get. Never had issues with it. Capital One is a good company. All right, and once again, business credit takes time. There's no quick way to get your business credit to the top. Like I said, for those who weren't in the room earlier, look at business credit like planting a seed or planting a flower. You know, you plant a flower, right? You plant the seed, right? You water the seed, it grows. You water it, it grows, right? Boom. Business credit, right? You get your business credit, you purchase an item. That's the seed. You pay the bill every month. That's the water. It grows. It grows. It's the same concept, right? So as long as you understand that, business credit is just like personal credit. Keep your utilization at 30% or lower. Pay your stuff on time. It's going to grow over time. And also understand that your personal credit is very important. All right. Like, stop believing these fallacies and these fairy tales that people be selling out here. Personal credit is important. You're going to have to personally guarantee pretty much damn near everything you get when you're starting a business. You have no rapport with nobody. The creditors, nobody. No one's going to give you anything anymore. This ain't the 70s. This ain't the 80s. This ain't the 60s no more, where you can just go start a business and walk down to your local bank and walk in there with your suit and your briefcase and walk out with a check for 10 grand. All right. It ain't like that no more. All right. It's burnt up. Just like how they burnt up cabbage and they burnt up the rental trucks. The forefathers, the businessmen of the 70s and 80s burnt that up. Look how many businesses Donald Trump started, right? Just started new businesses and burnt up the Taj Mahal, Trump Airlines, Trump Casino. The list goes on. The list goes on. I could tell you a bunch of other business people back in the day that just created businesses, went and got business loans based off, their name, because it wasn't hard to do back in the day, right? You didn't necessarily have to have a rapport, right? And go out and do all these big projects, right? And default on these loans and just walk away. That was a thing back in the day, but it's not a thing anymore. And because those people did that, right? Which is now why institutions now require that you personally guarantee, co-sign for your business. All right. So that is the presentation for tonight. As far as business credit is concerned, I hope I broke it down in layman's terms. I hope I dispelled some of the stuff that I've seen other people go out here and say. I know a lot of people are heavy on those vendors, but I gave you a reason why I don't think going the vendor route is good, because I want to save more money. All right. I want to save more money. If it was between saving more money or spending more money to build business credit, then skip that lane on building business credit. I'm fine with financing a truck and using a business credit card versus spending a lot of money that I could save and put elsewhere because I'm spending X more amount of dollars on tape, shrink wrap, ratchet straps, dollies, carpet runners and things like that. Nah, I'm cool. I'd rather go to CDS. I'd rather go to New Haven and buy this stuff a lot cheaper because we're buying this stuff recurring over and over and over and over and over and over again. And those $15 here, $25 there, $50 there that's recurring, it adds up over the year. All right. So that's the presentation. I saw a lot of questions and comments rolling throughout the presentation. Hopefully you guys got, some questions answered. Man, is my moderator here tonight? Yeah, she here. I see her. Shout out to Pippi in the building. Once again, before we get into this Q&A, I want to let you know, because a lot of people are in here now. Next Thursday night, I'm having a conversation and Q&A with the senior manager of contractor recruiting for Cardinal Logistics. All right. So the senior manager of contractor recruiting for Cardinal Logistics will be here next Thursday, same time, 8 o'clock start time. So for all you guys that have questions, that are interested in Cardinal, now this is a great time to speak to an executive from that company. He's the senior manager of contract recruiting from the national. All right, so he isn't the regional recruiting guy. He's overall recruiters for the country. All right, so he's the national exec for recruiting for Cardinal. And even if you don't have a question regarding Cardinal specifically, if you just have a general question from an IC standpoint to a logistics executive standpoint, you just want like a general answer to a general question from a logistics exec, now, or not now, but next Thursday would be the time to come on to my live stream and ask those questions. So I'm going to be doing this a lot. You're going to see a lot of people, execs on the channel coming up. I also got some other cool things that I'm going to be doing. I don't like to talk about stuff because sometimes things don't fall through, and I don't want to be the guy that says, "Oh, he said," and I don't do it, and then you hold me to it. So when the stuff happens and it the ink gets dry and all that stuff, then I'll let you guys know what's going on. All right. So let me go back and get into the questions. Joe says, nice, was looking at Carl earlier today on Indeed. Yep, so they'll be here next week. Most, damn, that's big. Yeah, we're trying to do big things for the channel this year. I said, man, we're going to do a lot of things different. I feel like last year I pushed out a lot of content. So now it's time to turn it up. That's why we're doing more live streams, more educational live streams on, topics that I feel like people really are struggling with. And, financials is probably the main thing I see people struggling with. And even, I talk to people every day, and even though people see my live streams, they say, man, Mark, I know I seen it, man. And it's just, I was listening and it hit me, and I still ain't got it together. So financials is a big thing. That's why I spend a lot of time on this stuff with you guys. So outside of that, we're going to bring the people to you. You guys are going to hear certain things out of the horse's mouth. The horses are the company, and we're going to bring you these execs from these companies to speak to you guys. All right. So that's what I'm working on. We're going to continue to, evolve the channel. I told you guys I'm invested into the space. I don't charge you guys for none of this stuff. I'm really invested in trying to help people out, man. You know what I'm saying? So just continue to support me and hit those like buttons, and that will continue to motivate me to go out and bring you guys the resources that I know you guys need so that your business can ultimately evolve and become successful. All right. Thanks, Mark, for sharing. Cardinal, he got back in touch with me yesterday. All right, Eric, appreciate it. Who got back with you? Was it John? All 4 of our vehicles are under the personal name. The sales rep steamrolled right over us saying we wanted to put them in the business name. Yeah, that's same thing happened to Is the Walk. You know, he consulted with me on a Sunday. The Monday he went, they pretty much finessed him into getting it in his personal name, and he should have walked out, but he didn't. All right, so it sounds like the same thing with you. Listen, all right, for everybody that's listening, listen, it's okay to walk out of these dealerships. You're gonna have some dealerships that are gonna play these games with you. I told a story, not for the business, but on a personal side about, what is this, 2023, 11 years ago, 12 years ago, when the Camaros first came out. I went to a dealership to get a Camaro. They treated me like a goofy. All right. I was thirsty for that bad boy too. It was one of the hottest cars on the street at the time, like 2011, 2010, whatever. And I because I had purchased cars before, I knew that just wasn't right. A few days later, I went to another Chevy dealership. They treated me like a human being, and I walked out there with an even better Camaro. Same thing goes in on the business side. All right, I can't sit up here and tell you why these dealerships play these games and why they really want to force you to get these cars in your personal name. I gotta call one of my sales guys, Rami or Mark, and ask them why, and then I can probably present that information to you. It's got to be a reason why they're pushing and finessing people into getting these work vehicles under your personal name versus just doing the application under the business name and just having you personally guarantee it. Maybe it's more work, but there's got to be something to it, because you're the second person that's told me that. But so I'm curious to know why. So I'm going to look into it for you guys. But for you guys that haven't got to the point yet, if you walk into a dealership and you know you got good personal credit, but you know you got a business, your vehicle should be purchased under the business, not under your personal. If the dealership don't want to play ball, then don't play ball. Walk out. Go somewhere else. All right. You have personal credit that's strong to guarantee your business. I've done it. A plethora of other people have done it. Don't play ball. These dealerships will play games with you. I don't know why they push people to get it under their personal versus their business. It's obvious. It's got to be a reason. Maybe it's more work. I don't know. I'm going to look into it for you guys. But don't play ball. It's a work vehicle. All right. The company should own it, not you personally. You don't want the liability under your personal name. All right. You don't want the liability under your personal name for a plethora of reasons. All right. I'm not going to go down the list of reasons, but if you're running a business, all right, your registration to the vehicle that you're utilizing for your business should come back to the name of the business. All right. It should come back to the name of the business. It shouldn't come back to you personally. All right. So unfortunately, I'm sorry that happened to you, Courtney. But, just going forward, just make sure that, sometimes you can go into these dealerships and you just want to get things over with. You're excited, you're adding on to your fleet, or you're getting your vehicle for the first time and you just want to get it and be done with it. I get it. But, for you guys, that haven't got to that point yet, if you get to this point, do not buy the vehicle under your personal name. Don't do it. Walk out. Go to another dealership. All right. Does my personal credit cards that I don't use for my business have effect on my business score? Does my personal credit cards that I don't use for my business have any effect on my business score? No. I have a blue one for my personal credit card, only 300 line of credit. Yeah. Oh, here's another thing too, guys. I forgot to mention. There may be some business credit cards. I think Capital One used to do it. I don't think they have it no more because I didn't see it, but I remember they did used to do it. If you don't have fair credit, right? Let's say you're rebuilding your credit. You might want to look for, there's one company, I'm not really too fond of them. I've never used them, but I know people that have used them. I think it's called Credit One, not Capital One, but I think it's called Credit One. I think they offer a secured business card. I could be wrong, but if you can find a secured business card, like if you have below fair credit and you can get a secured business card, secured basically is you're using your own money for collateral. So let's say they approve you for a secured card. You put down $1,000. They hold that $1,000, and they're holding that $1,000, and they're giving you a credit card with $1,000 line of credit. All right, against the $1,000 that they're holding of yours. So they already have the collateral. They're really not loaning you any money. They're just charging you interest on the money that they're holding for you, right? All right. This is a good way to build your credit as well, because they're going to report it to the credit bureaus. You don't qualify for a traditional unsecured credit card, but if you can find a secured business credit card where you can use your own money as collateral to build your business credit, then that is a way I think you guys should do. I didn't mention in the presentation, but that's some more sauce for you right there. For you guys to have really bad credit, you get a secured business credit card. Even on the personal side, you got bad personal credit, get a Capital One secured personal credit card. I think they still offer it on the personal side. And whatever, $300, $500, $1,000, give them that money, right? And then they're going to give you that same line of credit, and then just utilize that 30% utilization, 30% of the card, pay it off. Keep that card, don't close it. Pretty much just wash that money away, right? Because you're going to keep that card. You want to keep it open, so that money they're holding, they're just going to hold it forever. And then when you build your credit card, your credit up, then you should be able to go apply and qualify for an unsecured business credit card. Daniel says, I started out with good credit, but now, oh man, it sounded too good. I just got a Chase Ink card. Congratulations. I had poor credit in January, now I have fair credit. James, congratulations. Hey James, you supposed to have some homework for us, right? You're doing big things if you have a Barclays card. Yeah. Appreciate it. When we apply for these lines of credit, are we applying the business name? Of course, it's a business. Anything that I presented tonight, guys, is for business, nothing for personal. All right. This is a trucking, box truck, cargo van business channel. We're talking about business. It's not a personal channel. So everything that I discuss is for business. So everything that we discussed tonight, you should be applying under your business. All right. If they ask for a personal guarantee, then that's when you put your name. You should only be applying with your information only if it's to personally guarantee for the business. All right. I never check my business credit, even though DNB always calling trying to sell me their services. Let's see. I'm trying to go. 631 or 669 fair. 631 and 69 are fair. I went from a 5A to 662 last month. Congratulations. Let me see. I'm trying to get to the question. Never understood the difference between Interstate Screw. What's up? What up? Let me get to some questions. I talked to a couple of hard money guys and I couldn't get with daily or weekly payments. That's straight robbery. Yeah. So once again, guys, daily debits, weekly debits, you want to stay away from. Hard money is hard money. All right. Just think, like, imagine borrowing money from Al Capone, right? A mob loan, right? Same thing with hard money. It's hard money, right? It's a reason why it's hard money, because you are high risk too. So it's like, on both ends, you know what I'm saying? So, but if you guys are in dire need for hard money, I suggest a hard money business line of credit over a hard money term loan. All right. At least with the business line of credit, it's revolving. It's there if you need it. If you don't touch it, you don't pay any credit on it, any interest on it. And then if you do draw against the line of credit, you're only paying interest on the money that you draw down. All right. So if you got a $10,000 line of credit and you withdraw $1,000, based on whatever the interest rate is, you're only paying that interest rate on that 1,000 that you draw down. All right, not the whole 10. All right. He said, and then let's talk about gas cards to help business credit. Yeah, I talked about gas card. I didn't give any card specific. I did put a picture up of Universal Premium because that's the one that we've used. All right. I can't really speak on any other company that I haven't used. Let's see. I was trying to tell my dude up to fuel cards and don't use credit cards. Credit card over fuel. Miss Red Nose Pit in the building. What's going on? Let me see. I'm looking for questions. See, this Cardinal situation is what sets you apart from other content creators. Interstate Screw, appreciate that. Appreciate that. Does Cardinal work with 26-foot box trucks? Of course. Let me give you a rundown real quick of what John sent me that they're looking to hire for right now. Give me a second. I'll pull it up for you guys. It may change by next week. He's probably watching, but we're going to have him come on next week and talk. Mattress Firm, which is a 7-day-a-week contract. Costco, which is a 6-day-a-week contract. Wayfair, which is a 5 to 6 day a week contract. Bob's Discount Furniture, 5 days a week. Nebraska Furniture, 7 days a week. Home Depot, 6 days a week. And then some of these contracts are in certain markets. I'm not going to go through the markets. We'll hold some of that information to next week because it may change. More openings, more positions may open up. So I'll allow him to, when we talk next week, a week from today, I'll let him, list or say what markets they're hiring in, on which contracts, and then I'm probably going to ask him to, give a brief overview of what each contract entails, brief description on the company, and final mile. I ask him some general questions for, informational purposes for the viewers, you guys, to get information from, and then I'm going to allow Q&A. I'm not going to keep him here all night like how we be here 3-4 hours because I respect people's time. He's an exec. He probably has to work in the morning. So I'm going to do Q&A. I'm only going to pick out certain questions. So if you do have questions, make sure those questions are really good questions. If I don't pick your question, you have an opportunity in the upcoming weeks when I got other companies coming on. Just make sure the question is really, really good, and I'll pick it. I'm going to ask him how long he'll be able to stick around and answer questions, but it's not going to be like a 3-hour Q&A like how I be doing. So just make sure if you do got questions. I know a few of you have applied with Cardinal. I know a couple of you have messaged me, emailed, DM me that you're going through the onboarding process. He let me know he onboarded someone out in the Denver market, one of my subscribers. So congratulations to you. So the guys that are looking to do business with Cardinal probably get the precedence on the questions. So just make sure you got good questions, guys. So he'll be here next week. All right. So yeah, Cardinal does work with 26-foot box trucks. It was John, right? All right. So the John will be here next week. He's the national executive recruiting manager for Cardinal. Let's see. Yeah, Cardinal mainly does 26. They also do semi trucks too. They have the Home Depot contract. So like when you see like say a building that's getting full gut rehab, right? And they deliver, let's say like a flatbed full of drywall and other building materials, that's Cardinal. All right. So the day cab flatbed that you see doing a lot of those deliveries is Cardinal. Next time you go to a Home Depot, you get a chance to ride around to the dock area, you'll probably see a Cardinal semi truck in the back. Let's see. Pippi says also try your local credit unions for secure card. Yeah. So once again, secure cards For you guys that are below fair, look for a secured card. Let's look real quick. Let me see if Capital One on the personal side. They don't do it anymore on the business side, but I'm curious to see on the personal side if they do it. Let's see here. Secured building credit. Show me cards that are popular. No, we want building credit. These are unsecured. Yeah, I don't see. I will have to do. Let me see. Let me search it. Capital One secured card. Actually apply for a secured card. They do got it. Yeah. So they do have a secured card with Capital One. So yep, here it is. Platinum secured. Oh, they got a couple of secured cards here. I'll share the screen real quick. All right, so right here, platinum secured, refundable deposit of $49.99 or $200 gets you a $200 initial credit line. All right, so with Capital One, depending on, I guess, your current credit score, they'll ask you to deposit either $49.99 or $200. So either one of these deposits gets you $200 initially. With responsible use, you can earn your deposit back and upgrade your card. All right, so depending on where you're at right now will determine how much money you have to put down, and it gets you $200 credit score. Then they also $200 line of credit. Then they have this one, earn 1.5% cash back on every purchase with a refundable $200 minimum deposit. All right. So this is Quicksilver secured, rebuilding credit, and this is a secured card too. All right. These two are unsecured right here. These two are unsecured. So, yep. So Capital One does still have a personal secured card. Once again, like I said, personal credit is important as well when you're building. Personal credit is important when you're trying to build your business credit, because, like I said, a lot of these things that you try to acquire, whether it's a business credit card, whether it's equipment, you're going to have to personally guarantee it. So your personal credit does need to be at least fair. All right. What's the best strategy for someone with a credit score of 662 to do after they get the Gold Capital One card? How much is that line of credit, and would be able to finance a vehicle with fair credit? It depends. It's going to vary what they're going to qualify you for. If they approve you, what they may qualify one person for, they may qualify the next person for more or less. So that's going to vary on the individual as far as the line of credit. And would you be able to finance a vehicle with fair credit? Yeah, you can finance a vehicle with fair credit. Your interest rate is probably going to be higher than a person with good or excellent credit. But yeah, you should be able to finance a vehicle with fair credit. Moni Love, what if you just starting? You got to be more specific. What if you were just starting regarding what? Yeah, my update is that my authority got pushed to be active on the 25th day instead of the 21st. I was on the phone with FMCSA on Tuesday, and they said I'll be active tomorrow. I got my tax return. All right, so cool. So now you got some working capital. You got your tax return. So, you got to do a lot of sacrifice, and we talked about that Sunday. So next update, let me know when you get your authority goes active. Your authority go active tomorrow, you said, or Saturday, whatever. So by Sunday, you ain't going to probably be operating. So by next Thursday, let me know an update. All right. Hey, I have credit. One, let me tell you, I started out with $300 limit credit, and last year in August, I received $3,000. That's a big jump. All right. So the Credit One is the company that I recommended. They do approve people who have, not so good credit. And here is a testimonial for someone that has credit one. All right, so here's a good testimonial for someone that has credit one. If you guys want to look into credit one as an option, guys. All right, do me a favor as we continue. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button. I really appreciate if you hit that like button. It just helps the stream get into the algorithm so it can reach more people that may need this information. All right, it's for the people more so than it is for me. It helps the people get the information they need. All right, so wait 1 minute. I have a question. What is wrong with a gas card to help build business credit? To just build it. It's nothing wrong with a gas card, but if you don't have a fleet, all right. So here's the purpose of a fleet card. You got a fleet. Every truck should have a card, right? So you're able to set parameters on these cards on how and what they can use these cards for, right? But it comes with fees that credit cards don't have. The fees are worth it when you have an X amount of trucks, right? Because it's easier to manage, when you have cards for every truck that you can set parameters for, each individual truck. Credit card company, they're not going to give you, at least I don't think they're going to give you, hey, I need 15 copies of this card. All right. 2, I don't want to give out this many cards. And 3, they're not going to set the parameters like you can set on a fleet card. Fleet card, listen, truck 1, I want this card set at $75 a day. Once it hits $75 threshold, it can't pump no more fuel unless we get authorization. That means I got to call Universal Premium and I got to say, look, I need you guys to authorize another $75 for this particular card. If truck 5 is my long distance truck, right? This is the truck that's doing downstate final mile deliveries, right? Then boom, we leave that car open, or we increase the limit. Look, this car has a $300 a day limit. Once it pumps $300, then that's it. It can't pump no more. It can only pump diesel. It can only pump regular unleaded. They can't go in the store and buy water or anything. They can't use it for maintenance. Even though the car says for fuel and maintenance, this car can only be used for fuel. It can only be used for this grade of fuel. It can only be used for this amount of money. All right. So you have to pay maintenance fees and other fees on fuel cards that you don't have to pay on credit cards. Credit cards, you're going to get rewards and things like that. If you don't have a fleet of trucks, it's not best to get a fleet card. There's no sense of paying for the services of a fleet card, right? If you don't have a fleet, it's just best to just use your credit card. At least you're getting the points and the rewards. And if you're running OTR and you're pumping a lot of fuel, you're going to get the rewards for pumping because you're spending the money. So it's just best to use a credit card. But yes, the fleet card does report to the business credit and it does help you build. But I don't recommend you getting it if you don't have a fleet of trucks. But, to each his own. Like I always say, I'm going to keep it funky. You do what you want to do. It's just my recommendation. But, tomorrow, if I'm active, I'm going to Enterprise to apply for a rental. So hopefully Tuesday I'll be driving. I went from 1,000 working capital to 3,000 working on finding a friend to loan 4,000 at 25%. Ooh, 25%. So you're paying $1,000 for $4,000, basically. Let's see here. They also gave me $350 more, something like a month later as I used it. I charged at the time $900 because I was starting my LLC. Okay. As we secured a route, we purchased a vehicle to cover it. I've been calculating my cost per mile, and from what I'm seeing is I'll have profitable loads, but I have to negotiate near the last 15-day spot rate. All right. Bank of America has a secured business card with no annual fee. All right. So Pippi says Bank of America has a secured business card with no annual fee. Let me give you guys one more gem. If there's no more questions before we get out of here. 2, when you're going to buy this equipment, all right, and I think I gave this information before. You want to leverage yourself really, really well. All right. If you know you got really good credit, right? Personal credit to co-sign for the business, or if the business has good business credit, all right, don't let these dealers talk you into putting money down. Don't put no money down on these equipment. Nothing. All right. Don't put no money down. Keep your money. All right. Keep your money for cash flow. All right. You don't need to put money down. All right. I've never put money down on no equipment that we purchase new. All right. Used equipments, always cashed out, wrote a check. All right. The new vehicles, no money down. I don't put money down on personal vehicles. All right. That's something that I learned over the years too. That money is going to do better for you wherever you're holding it at to make more money than it is giving it to the dealership just to take an extra $17 off every $1,000. All right. So that's another gem when you're going in purchasing vehicles. That whole $10,000 and all that stuff, man, keep that in your pocket. Just pay the extra $170 a month on the note or whatever it is that you were going to put down times $17. Just keep that and don't put no money down, and keep that money in the kitty as cash flow. All right. Let me get back to these Q&A. All right. Any more questions, guys? Any more questions? If not, we're going to go ahead and skedaddle and get on up out of here. All right. So I hope everybody got the information they needed. Since this was a requested live. Sunday is my birthday, so what I'm gonna do is I won't be on Sunday night because I'm gonna go hit a few day parties, and celebrate my birthday. But what I will do before I hit the streets, I may do a afternoon Q&A for an hour. All right, don't look for it. If you don't see me, you know why. All right. And then if I don't do Sunday night, what I'll do is I may come on Monday or Tuesday. I may not. We may just come back on Thursday with Cardinal. But you know what? I think I may come back on. I probably should come back on. If I don't come on Sunday, I'll probably come on Monday or Tuesday to promote Thursday night one more time. So that way we make sure we got a good turnout and go from there. So if you don't see me Sunday, then you'll see me Monday or Tuesday. And then next Thursday, we got John from Promote This One More Time, which is the senior manager of contract recruiting for Cardinal. Will be here next Thursday for a conversation, a Q&A. So make sure you guys are here for that. And that is going to be the first of many of these conversation and Q&As I'm going to be doing with executives from some of your favorite logistics companies. All right. Appreciate everybody for the birthday wishes for Sunday. So if you don't see me Sunday, then that's why. I don't never talk about subscribers, but we're pushing that 10,000 mark. So we'll probably hit that maybe tomorrow. By Sunday, will be over 10,000. So shout out to all the subscribers. 10,000 subscribers in less than a year. I'm gonna speak on it now because I probably won't, be live when it hits tomorrow. I'm not going to do a live, and I'll speak on it now. So I appreciate everyone that has subscribed to the channel. 10,000 subscribers in less than a year. It means a lot. Put a lot of work in the channel last year with content. Still putting a lot of work in with the live streams, giving you guys, my experiences in the business, educating you guys from an economical standpoint, teaching you guys about finances of the business, giving you guys all the jewels and the hidden gems, I guess, from a person that has tenure in the business, over 10 years experience in the business. Hopefully you guys can take a lot of this information that I'm passing along to you guys and utilize it to your benefit. So I appreciate all 10,000 of you guys for rocking out with the kid. That's a big feat, to hit 10,000 subscribers in 10 months. According to YouTube's analytics, it takes an average person about a year and a half to 2 years to hit 1,000 subscribers. We hit 10,000 in 10 months. So shout out to everybody. Appreciate y'all for rocking with me. I'm not gonna post it or anything. So when it happens, it'll just happen. You won't see a community post with balloons or none of that stuff. But I'm just letting y'all know, man. I appreciate everybody that subscribes and that comes and watches and gets knowledge every week. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to everybody for the birthday wishes. Happy early birthday. I appreciate you. Mark the financial therapist. That's funny. What's good? Just tapping in. 85 imports. What's the deal? What's the deal? I know a lot of people saying low rates, but if you are doing middle mile, you getting 250 for the load and deadhead and back. It's like you getting 175. I think a lot of people that are saying low rates are just new to the industry and were spoiled to the inflated rates of the pandemic. Looking real normal to me. Other veterans that I see in the space are saying the same thing that I say. It looks normal. All right. It is what it is. The pandemic spoiled a lot of people. It spoiled a lot of people, and a lot of people that came into the industry, they just thought that was just what it was. There's money to be made out here. You just have to, enter into the business correctly, and you got to keep your overhead down. I've been reiterating the same stuff since I, came on YouTube. You go look at videos from May of 2022. I started in April of 2022. You go look at videos of May of 2022. I've been saying the same thing. This business is a low margin business. Low margin business. All right. This is not retail. Retail, you got 300-400% markups, right? You buy an item wholesale, for $60. You can sell it for $300-400. All right. That's retail. You buy an item for $3-4, you can sell it for $40-50. Those markups in retail are humongous, but retail is a business that is trendy. The margins are high, right? But it's a trendy business, right? You could have a retail line that's here today and gone tomorrow because the trend changed, right? What happened to urban fashion? Your Fat Farm, your Apple Bottom, your Anichi, your Academics, your Cross Colors, your Damage, your Use. I'm telling my age right now. Some of y'all probably Damage, Use, Cross Color. What the hell is Mark talking about? I'm telling my age, you know what I'm saying? But those were urban lines that are no longer here because urban fashion was a thing of the past, all right? The 80s, the 90s, the early to mid 2000s, I would say. By the latter part of 2000s, the 2010s, high-end fashion came back in, and it's been here ever since. And I don't think urban fashion will probably ever come back. But it's a trendy business, but the margins are very high. Trucking margins are very low. All right. So with this business, you have to be very mindful of how you enter into the business, and how you spend your money. I always talk about, buying used trucks. Some people say, "Oh, I want a new truck," until they go buy a new truck, and then they're paying $3,000-4,000. Somebody told me they're paying $4,000 a month for insurance because they got a 2023, right? And then you pay another $3,000 a month on the note, right? Because the truck is $100,000. Now that's $7,000 a month. All right, that's a lot of money to spend, on a business that is very low margin, and you're a novice. All right, which means you have a lot of learning to do. All right, so you want your cost to be as low as possible. All right, so I talk about getting a used truck, something that's gonna cost you not a lot of money a month to finance, and your insurance is not gonna be that much. People worry about maintenance, but I'm here to tell you, maintenance, you're gonna have to pay maintenance on a truck. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a part of the business. Just a part of the business, guys. So that's my little run on for the night. I'll sleep in my truck before I dead here. Mar, what's a low margin profit to you? Well, the industry standard is 2 to 6.5%. Throughout my tenure in the business, I was able to operate at 20%. Low profit margin to me, I've had accounts that I've operated at 10%. So that's pretty low to me, but you know, it's okay. You know, I understand the margins are very low. Average is 2.5 to 6%. In order for me to get to that 20%, like I said, a while ago in either a live stream, a few live streams or some videos, a lot of the things that I could do on my own, I did. You talking about early days and long nights, first person there, last person to leave. I would send a truck in for a PM, and while it's there, I would say don't do the air filter. I'm not going to pay 20% markup on an air filter, right? And I can get the air filter and I know how to put that in myself. So that 20% is saved. It's a few dollars to me, you know what I'm saying? But it's a few dollars, but it's still money saved. Paying $30, $40 for truck washes. No, why? I got a warehouse. Hey, here, go to Menards, get this this power washer is $250, $300. Boom. Boom. I'm washing my own trucks. I didn't have nobody wash the trucks. I would wash my trucks 2 times, 3 times a year. Memorial Day, 4th of July, and Labor Day. All right. Those were days that we were closed, right? I would get up early in the morning. I pull each truck up one by one and I would wash it. I spend the whole day washing my own trucks. While everybody was out popping fireworks or doing whatever they do, barbecuing. That's a holiday that I still went to work with a fleet of trucks. You would see Mark there on a holiday power washing the trucks only 3 times because the trucks are running every day. So these were only 3 days. I would power wash the outside. I would have to, the moving trucks, I would have to take all the blankets off, the dollies, have to remove all that stuff, get into the back of the truck, power wash the walls, power wash the floor. You know what I'm saying? That's $25, $30, $40 a truck, right? That I'm saving. And just little other things where I could save money. Plowing the snow. Mark hopped on the Bobcat and plowed the snow. You talking about a lot of land. I'm not spending X amount of dollars to plow the snow. We had a blizzard in 2015. That was thousands of dollars to plow that snow. No, it took me a day and a half to plow that snow. All right. I did it myself. All right. I'm not paying nobody. Trucks couldn't go nowhere anyway. Snowed in. Everything was shut down for a couple of days. So that day and a half, I spent it plowing snow. Cutting grass. I wasn't paying no landscaper to cut no grass. I had some hypes do it. All right. So, you know, wherever I could save money at is where I save money. And that's why I tell you guys, like even in the presentation with the vendors, I'm not paying Uline $80 for a case of shrink wrap when I can get it for $60 somewhere else. 80 gauge. Same quality. All right. I'm not paying $100 for a Chicago Cap 4-wheel furniture dolly when I can go to CDS and get it for $62. You see what I'm saying? I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing it. I'm not doing it. So wherever I can save money is where I save money at. So that's how you increase your margins, you know. Yeah, 2.5 to 6% is the industry standard. 10% is like my bottom line for me. I calculated 30% or more profit for some loads. Maybe I'm cheap, but that's high to me. 30% is high. You know, you'll be lucky if you get 30%, especially if you're talking about renting a truck. I'm just being honest with you. You know what I'm saying? So it may look a certain way to you now until you get out there and you start running it. You know what I'm saying? Remember that the margins are very, very low. So you got to calculate your fixed costs. You got to calculate your variable costs. All right. So you have additional costs because you're renting a truck, so you're paying for the mileage. All right, so just keep all that in mind, my friend. Keep all that in mind. Eric says he bought his truck cash. Congratulations, congratulations. You know, that's a big feat when you can buy your truck cash. So congratulations to Eric. If you can buy your truck cash too, guys, then I say that's the best way to go. Just cash out. You know, if you got the working capital, you know, if you have working capital left over, don't. If you only got 20,000 in a truck, 20,000. Now you got the truck, but now you don't have the working capital to operate. So as long as you got working capital after you cash out on your truck, then shoot, go for it. All right, any more questions, guys? Any more questions? If not, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. 85 Imports. Shout out to 85 Imports for the super chat. I didn't see that. Appreciate the $5 super chat. Appreciate that. My bad. I thought I saw some green pop up on the screen. But appreciate the super chat. 85 Imports. Appreciate that. Gotta hit an air horn for the super chat. Appreciate that. All right, any more questions? Hi, Mark. Penske tried to rob me for $40K. You know, I've been hearing a lot of stuff about Penske. I'm gonna be honest with you. Well, I guess you can tell your story real quick if you want. How did they try to rob you? What did they do? I've been trying to get Penske on the channel too. They don't want to come on. So Penske don't want to come on. Enterprise don't want to respond. But I got one more trick up my sleeve to see if I can get somebody. I think I'm 10K subscribers. I think I'm qualified now. That I can send them an email like, look, if y'all don't come on my channel and talk to me, then I'm gonna have to start calling y'all out, man. And you don't want me to do that. So we're gonna try them one more time. I'm gonna try them next week. So that way I'm at 10K. So maybe they'll look at me different. They'll look at me a little different. But we'll try Penske one more time. Enterprise ain't responding. Ryder ain't responding. I don't have no quorums with budget. You know what I'm saying? I don't really have no quorums with none of them. I'm just really doing it for y'all to just kind of get some type of communication. Let me take that back. I do kind of want to know why they went up. I understand inflation. I understand a lot of stuff went up during the pandemic, but some of, like, I think they really, really gouged the prices, and I just want to know if they have a real reason why. Do they have some merit behind, or merit to justify the price points that they went up to as far as the miles and the standard daily weekly rate? Now, the requirements, I get that. I ain't, I'm not knocking them. That 2 years in business, that brick and mortar, which that don't make sense, but I get why they're doing it. 2 years in business, the deposit, all that stuff. Like, y'all can thank y'all predecessors or the people that got in during the pandemic for that. All right, y'all can thank them for that. So I can't really knock them for doing that to protect their assets. Their trucks are their assets. And, it's just become too risky to rent out trucks to people coming into the space now, because a lot of people have ill intentions nowadays. So I can't really trip on, the requirements that you must meet now to rent a truck. But the rates, the daily rate, weekly rate, or whatever, and the mileage rates do concern me. Now, I get things go up over time. I understand inflation, right? All right. So, but I think, there's a fair meter that, once you hit that fair meter, that when you go over that fair, you begin to like ripping people off. And there's some of these rates that people have told me that they were paying $2,500, $2,000, $1,800, $1,500 a week. It's just ridiculous. That's a big leap from $450, $500, $600, $650, right? Depending on the market, all the way up to $15,000, $18,000, $19,000, $2,000. $2,500. Like, so I really want to talk to someone, and I can kind of understand why they keep declining, because they probably think I'm gonna like antagonize them, but I'm not. I'm just gonna ask them these questions like, what justifications do you guys have for going up with these rates? Now, if they can come up and say, you know what, Mark, and they can present, financials and give valid reasoning for why they charge what they charge, and it makes sense, then I'm gonna say, look, guys, I got these people on here. They gave some valid information, some stuff that are outside our scope of knowledge because we're not in that business. So here you go. But if they can't answer that question, then you guys are also going to get those answers as well. Like, they were gouging. I doubt if they'll ever come on, but I'll reach out one more time and see what happens, and then we can go from there. I can't think of a valid reason. I think $750 is fair a week. I think $100 something a day. I think that's cool. Maybe $850 at the most. You know what I'm saying? But anything other than that, I think, nah. And then 39 cents a mile, nah, man, nah. Because see, here's the thing. You're talking about a $1 billion company, all right, with Penske or Ryder. I looked at the financials. I actually, because I was curious, so I jumped on Ryder's earnings call at the end of Q4, and both Penske and Ryder had record-breaking years last year. So record-breaking years as far as income, right? So they topped any previous years as income. They had record-breaking years, and a lot of that is due to the inflated rates that they were charging, and people were paying it. So yeah, I'm just curious. So that's what I'm gonna work on next week. I'm gonna reach out and see if we can get somebody on and go for there. James says, "LOL, call him out." We're not gonna call him out because we want him to come on the channel. And then what I'm gonna probably do is if I ever can get somebody on the channel, we're gonna have to cut the comments off. For that, we're gonna cut the comments off, man, because we don't want them sitting up here getting ridiculed. We want to get the answer, so we might have to cut the comments off for that one if I can get somebody to come on. For a $40K loan, I have to put down 40% and pay $1,565 a month. When I do the math, I pay $52K for 3 years loan. I told the loan officer to go, you know what? I told him that I'm not financially literate. All right, so for a $40,000 loan, they wanted you. You didn't do it, but they wanted you to put down 40%. All right, so they want you to put down $16,000, right? They want you to put down $16,000 and pay $1,565 a month on a 36-month agreement. Yeah, that's a lot of money to put down. Yeah, I'm glad you didn't do it. Smart move, not doing it. I don't blame you. They don't post a rate for a load on that load board. They post a load for like 60 cents a mile at like 300 miles to literally 1,000 mile trips. But the spot rate is $2 to $4 a mile. All right, any more questions? Let me see. Interstate Screw says, James, these brokers are so far away from the spot rate that is disrespectful. They do not care at all about the carriers. Man, I keep telling y'all about these spot markets, man. Y'all gonna have to. I think this year is gonna be difficult. All right, I know I said it recently. This year is gonna be difficult for a lot of you middle mile guys, especially you guys that have really high expenses. All right. This year is gonna be a wash. I can't really speak to next year, but this year is going to be a wash. My advice to you guys that are running the middle mile, and and here's the thing, you guys know if your expenses are high. You guys got to work on getting your expenses down if you want to survive in this industry. All right. And I think that's key. Getting your expenses down. All right. Getting them down. All right. How you going to do that? It all depends. Each person's situation is different. So I can't really give suggestions, because everybody's expenses who has high expenses may be high for one reason or the other. But if you're paying a rental truck, a high rental truck, then you know what you got to do. If you're, got a truck that you bought during the pandemic and your truck note is high, then, you might have to, do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? You might have to work a little bit harder or work a little bit longer or maybe do something on the side. You guys got to do what you got to do, but I don't think the industry is going to improve any more than what you guys are seeing now for the remainder of this year. There's a lot of variables that go into play into this forecast that I'm giving. I'm just not going to get into it right now because today wasn't about that, and I don't want to get really into that right now because I just don't. Maybe at a later time. But I think you guys are going to have to get accustomed to what you guys are seeing now and figure out a way to bring down your overhead so that you guys can see some profit. Hey, Mark, I'm in the process of getting my MBE. I watched your old video. Congratulations, man. Let me know if you get it. You are most certainly right. My truck is paid for, but I will not accept whatever they throw out there. Yeah, so if you, the beauty of having, paid off equipment is, I seen a content creator, I'm not going to say no names, you guys probably know who I'm talking about, say that, rental trucks are the way to go. A person who owns their truck, they have to move their truck. Whereas if you rent a truck, you don't have to move that truck. That's the most stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life. All right. And I'm trying not to cuss, but I have to use a cuss word right there. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. Listen, if you own a truck and it's paid for, that truck ain't got to go no damn where because it's paid for. It's paid for. When you're renting a truck, that truck is costing you money every single day. All right. Every single day. All right. So, that's a goddamn lie. All right. So the beautiful thing about owning your equipment and paying it off, and if your equipment has paid for itself 5 times over, 10 times over, 20 times over, how many times over is paid for? A truck done paid for itself 20, 30, 50 times over, Truck don't got to do a goddamn thing if you don't want it to do. So yeah, that's the beauty of owning equipment, and it's just like I said before, and I'll say it again, then we're going to get up out of here. Businesses have seasons, right? All right. When the money is coming, as a good business person is going to recognize their run. Everybody has a run. It's just like if you go to a casino, you play blackjack, right? You might be sitting at the blackjack table. You might play 2 or 3 shoes. The shoes kind of up and down, boom. Then you get that shoe. You win in every single hand. You don't want 4, 5 hands, right? Boom. You getting 20s, you getting 21s, you winning on 19. And anybody that play blackjack, when you get a 19, 9 times out of the 10, the dealer going to pull a 20 or 21 out their ass. 19 ain't. It's just not. I'd rather have an 18 than a 19. But the point that I'm trying to make is if you win 5, 6 hands in a row, boom, you're going to do what? You're going to increase your bet, right? You on a run. You recognize your run. This is the run that I've been waiting on. Let me get all my money back plus make a profit. I'm going to get the hell out of here as soon as I lose that. My first hand I lose, I'm out of here. You're going to start stacking your chips. You're going to win. You win. You're stacking your chips. You're making all that money. And when you lose, you got a mountain full of chips, right? Same thing in this business. You got to recognize when you're having a run. And when you're having a run, you got to stack that money and appropriate that money in the right ways, because eventually the industry is going to shift. What's going to shift the industry? Only time will tell. It could be a natural disaster. It could be an industry shift. It could be whatever. The country can go to war, and they can anything. You name it, it can happen. All right, and it could shift the landscape of the industry, and it can ultimately be detrimental to the industry. And then you look back on when the money was flowing and you didn't do the right thing by it. You knew the money was flowing, but you didn't recognize your run, and you pissed all the money off by doing goofball stuff. All right, you got to recognize your run and do what you're supposed to do and appropriate that money when it's coming, because like it's not gonna be like this. It's just like the stock market. You're not gonna get that straight arrow up and to the right every single day. One day it's gonna be red. It's gonna go back up. One day it's gonna be moderate. Then it's gonna go back up. You might have a week where it's just going straight up like that, but eventually you know it's gonna come down. Same thing with trucking. You may have a good year. You may have a good 2 years. You may have a good 3 years. But something's going to happen that's going to change the landscape of the industry for 6 months or for a year or for 2 years. But you got to make sure you did what you were supposed to do when it was good. And that could be something simple as put money to the side, invest into other streams of revenue, starting other business, aggressively paying off the equipment that you own, so that when these times do come, you don't have these bills to pay. You can kind of rest assured a little bit. And I just really think that during the pandemic, a lot of people didn't recognize the blessing that they were in right now. You'll never see those rates again. And people were just in a euphoric phase, like I talk about in the bubble, right? They were in that euphoric phase, and they just didn't recognize the opportunity that they had at the time, and didn't appropriate that money correctly. So yeah, having paid off equipment is a great feeling. I'm going to apply for that business gold card tomorrow through Capital One to match my blue card. LOL. Any suggestions on what else to apply for other than a line of credit with a fair credit score? Hey James, I don't even think you should apply for a line of credit. I don't think you're ready for that. I think you should utilize that working capital that you got from your taxes, that $4,000 that you borrowed, and I think you should sacrifice and make that do what it do. I think if you take out more money, I think you're going to utilize it. I don't think if you don't have it there, you're not going to utilize it. I think you got enough money to make it do what it do. And I think if you make it do what it do, what I tell you Sunday, back against the wall situation going to make you come out strong. I think you in a real back against the wall situation, and I think that's going to make you think harder, and it's going to make you work harder. And I think because of that, you're going to succeed. I don't think you should take out a business line of credit right now. I think that's going to ultimately get you into trouble. That could be wrong. You could do what you want to do. Like I always say, do what you want to do. But I say $7,000, man. I think you can make that. I think you can make it happen with that. I think you can really make it happen. But you go do what you want to do. Get the Capital One Gold card, and if you want to get that business line of credit, go for it. Just don't get in no jam now. Don't get in no jam. I think with that tight bread, you're gonna sacrifice, and you're gonna put more thought into how you spend money. You're not gonna spend money frivolously because you know it's not there to spend. It's not there. All right. So just be very careful. Interstate Screw says use the Sam Club card for fuel only. All right. He said use the Sam's Club card for fuel only. All right. So any more questions? If not, I'm going to go ahead and skedaddle. One more time for the one time. For the fun time. Next Thursday, We're going to be talking with the senior manager for contract recruiting for Cardinal Logistics. So, guys, make sure you're here next Thursday, March 2nd at 8 p.m. We're going to come on. We're going to get straight to it. I probably won't even do no intro. We're just going to get on and get straight to it. So, make sure you're here on time because I'm going to value his time for coming on the channel and, answering questions for you guys, from an executive standpoint from a logistics company. So guys, here's an opportunity for you to ask your questions. Make sure you have good questions. Everybody's questions may not, I may not be able to allow everyone's question to, be asked. All right. So make sure you got good questions because I'm going to cherry pick them. All right. And if you don't get your question picked to get answered this time, then the next company that I have an executive from in a couple of weeks, you'll be able to maybe get another chance there. So make sure you guys are here next Thursday. I want a good turnout. It takes a lot of work to connect with these people and get them to come on. And I got some other stuff coming up. I ain't gonna talk about it. Some cool stuff for you guys, some content, some other companies. So it is what it is. I'm going to use the line of credit to pay for a Mark the Mentor subscription. What's a Mark the Mentor subscription? $3? Man, I just gift you that. Matter of fact, let me just do that right now. Let me buy let me see. Can I do it while I'm on the live? Let me see. Live chat. I don't think I can. It was a way I could buy. Let me see. No, I can't do it when I'm on the live. I thought I could. Nope. I was going to just gift it, but oh well. Uh-oh. Axel done jumped in here. Does your truck matter for this carrier? I haven't seen that as a stipulation, so I'm going to say no for right now. But next Thursday, you can ask John when he's here. But I don't think so. I've been listening while driving. I'm busy. 2.5 hours left for this load. Just saying hi. Axel, appreciate you for saying hi. Appreciate you for listening. Mr. Axel is in the building. I was doing OTR and I lost a lot of money. Do you think this is the best time to do last mile? Last mile, here's the difference between last mile and OTR. OTR is a spot market. Last mile their rates haven't changed throughout the whole pandemic. If anything, they've gotten higher, right? It's just a different line of work. So yes, you can get into final mile because it's not dependent on the spot market, right? So it's per stop base. So it's a great time to get into final mile. You got people that are actually, and I'm not saying this because I'm a final mile guy either. I'm being honest. I have the data. I see an uptick of coaching sessions. People saying, "Hey, Mark, OTR ain't cutting it. Amazon ain't cutting it. I'm not making money. I never thought I would be saying this, but I need to come do some final mile. I got my truck and my insurance and blah, 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 blah," right? So boom. So there is an uptick in final mile because the spot market, it just ain't cutting it no more. People got to do what they got to do. So yeah, it's a great business. It's not dependent on the spot market. The rates don't really fluctuate like that based on spot market. So yeah. Check this out. $5.99 for junk sub at PA rest area, and you have to build it. A $5.99 for a junk sub. Sounds pretty cheap. Yeah, but let me see if I can do it right here real quick. Let me go to YouTube. I know it was a way I could do it on mobile version, but let me see if I can do it real quick. I'll just pay for it. But then I got my card. See, I have my card on me. My card. Hold on, y'all. Let me see if I can do this real quick. Skip trial. All right, hold on. Let me see. Let's see here. All right, yeah, I can do it from here. Membership gifting. All right. All right, so I'm gonna gift 5 memberships real quick. Let me do it here. Verify. Oh, damn it! I don't know my security code. Shoot, I ain't got my wallet. Is that my security code? No, that ain't it. Shoot, what's my security code? All right, hold on. I gotta get my wallet. So I'll be right back. I'll do that real quick and then I'll get out of here. Where's my damn wallet at? Alright, so let's try it right here. Let's do this. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. We're gonna gift 5 memberships here by we'll do that. Verify. Alright, so all right, there we go. So we're gonna give 5 memberships. YouTube, it should popped up in the chat. It should have popped up in the chat. Well, it popped up on the phone part. Mark the Mentor was all right. So Interstate Screw, Sean Bailey, Big Slick, and Joe Beetlecombe just got memberships. So yeah, so the system automatically picked it. I didn't pick them. The system picked it based on engagement. All right, so the system picked it based on engagement. I just paid YouTube for the memberships, and the system just automatically picked it based off engagement. So guys, don't think I handpicked these people. These people obviously are here watching constantly. So shout out to those people. Interstate Screw, Sean Bailey, Big Slick, Joe Beetlecombe, and Kai. Kai was gifted. All right, so shout out to y'all. I'm gonna do more stuff for the members. Coming up is just be hard, doing separate content But I'm gonna do some more stuff for the members coming up. Members can always hit me up. I got relationships with all these um, logistics companies, so people hit me up all the time. Members, you can always hit me up if you need to get in contact with someone from one of these logistics companies, or you just need some so somebody with some pull to get things done. People say, man, I hit this company up and they haven't got back, and they hit me up, and then I know the people to go to. I can text their phone directly and like, look, I got a sub that said they applied and y'all ain't pulled their app. And then I just text the name and the company, and then poop, in 10 minutes they're like, man, Mark, they just hit me up. So that's the type of plug I got for the members. You know what I'm saying? So members, that's like some of the pub that I can do for y'all. Some other things, but system rigged. System definitely not rigged. System definitely not rigged. Axel, is just, man, that's engagement. I didn't pick those people. I just put it in, and the system automatically picked them based off engagement. Kai, I don't know if I know Kai, but he's probably here watching. Probably watches all the time, just doesn't say anything. And Stay Screw, I see. Big Slick, I see. Joe, I think I've seen. Sean Bailey, I've seen. So yeah, it is what it is. This box truck community is tight knit. Like, a lot of the people that watch me watch everybody. They might not subscribe to each and every person, but the community is very small. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the subscribers watch a lot of the content creators for good or bad reasons. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Kai, appreciate you. Thank you for watching. Mark, you probably the first person to ever say my last name correctly the first time. Oh man, I appreciate you for recognizing that, man. One thing that I learned as a business person, that a wise business person always taught me many, many moons ago, is one, when you're doing business, you always want to remember two things. You always want to remember a person's name, and you want to remember their birthday. And then part of remembering their name is making sure you announce or pronounce a person's name correctly. So before I even attempt to pronounce a person's name, if it's a name that I don't pronounce, I look at their first name and their last name. So if their last name is hard, I'll just say their first name. If their first name is hard, I'll just say their last name. But when I'm looking at a person's name, before I attempt to pronounce it, I look at the name, the syllables. My mom, like I told y'all before, my mom was a teacher for Chicago Public School for 34 years. So like grammar, a lot of people was like, man, Mark, you seem ghetto, but you real articulate. I'm both, you know what I'm saying? Because my mom is an educator. So certain words, pronouncing words and things like that is something that was instilled in me at a early age. So that's where my articulancy comes from. And when I look at a person's name, I make sure I look at their name, and I'm saying it in my head. I'm looking at all the syllables before I actually speak it, because you don't want to misspeak a person's name, because you don't want them to correct you. That's kind of like almost embarrassing. So, in business, I like to make sure I pronounce people's name correctly. I like to remember people's names, and I also remember people's birthdays. It's just a good character trait of a business person. Like, out of all the people I know, I'm the only person who remembers everyone's birthday, because it's very important to remember somebody's birthday when you're in business. Mostly it comes from me remembering my employees' birthdays, right? To make sure that I always, one, tell them happy birthday, and two, for the more important reason, make sure I schedule them off the day after their birthday, so they don't, stand me up with a no call, no show, or calling out because they got wasted. So that's the real reason why you remember people's birthdays. But remembering a person's name is just a good characteristic and good quality of a business person. You know what I'm saying? You always want to remember somebody's name and make sure you pronounce it the correct way. But appreciate you for letting me know that I pronounced it right on the first time, man. I'm new, that's why I didn't get gifted, but it's okay. I was talking about getting a monthly from the website. Oh, you talking about a coaching session? Well, anyway, I wanted to do that anyway. It was something I was meaning to do before the show. I've always done it before the show, but I always forget to do it during the show. So at this time when you said that, it just kind of reminded me. But I thought we were gonna, since you're going over the road, I said I was gonna because you told me a situation. I said I was going to sponsor you a coaching session from Kirk for OTR for partials. So why don't you do the coaching session with Kirk? I'm going to pay for it, and that's me giving something to you because I understand your situation, and I see you're really trying to work at it. And then I'm going to cover your consultation with Kirk for the partials, and I'll just pay him directly. So let me know when you're ready for that consultation. I'll talk to Kirk. I'll submit the payment over to him, and then you can schedule that consultation with him because he's the partial guy, OTR. So I think you're gonna get more value from him than you would for me. So I'll just do that for you, James. I'll just pay Kirk for you to have a consultation with him. Does that sound good? Just let me know what day you want to do it. I'll get with him, and then I'll just pay him. And then you guys can chop it up. All right. So if that's it, man, no more questions. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Sunday I'll probably come on early. If not, I'll be on Monday or Tuesday, and then next Thursday we got John from Cardinal. Hit that like button, guys, on your way out. James, don't forget to let me know what day you want to have that consultation for partials, because you're going to need it. You're going to need it. If there's no more questions, I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here, y'all. Really good show tonight, guys. Any more topics y'all want to have me do a live stream about, just DM me. And if it's something that I feel like I can cover, that I got experience on, I'll cover it. If not, we'll just keep the same process going. I'll talk to Kirk for you. I'm going to call him tomorrow. How open are these final mile companies with flexible scheduling? I'm going to be honest with you. Final mile contracts are 5 to 7 days, depending on the contract, right, for the retailer. And when you mean flexible, like, can you work Monday, Tuesday, and have Wednesday off? No. So if it's 5 to 7 days, then you're working Monday. If it's 5 days, you're working Monday through Friday. If it's 6 days, you're working Monday through Saturday. If it's 7 days, then that truck needs to rotate 7 days a week. Now, whether you're on it or you got different people you can rotate, because no one's going to be able to work 7 days a week, right? Then that's just the nature of the business. As if that's what you mean as far as flexibility as concerned, like, these trucks got to move. So openings, all of these companies got openings. So, but let me know what you mean by flexible scheduling. If you mean like, man, Mark, I can only work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I need Thursday off. I can work Friday and come in Saturday. I need Thursday and Sunday off. Then it ain't gonna work like that. It ain't gonna work like that. I have two mentors. I'm doing local too because of my 4-year-old son. I'm a single father with 100% custody. Wait, so are you going over the road, or are you going over the road or not then? How to get your drivers to communicate with you? In what way are you talking about communicating? Like as far as communicating when they're on job sites to communicate with you when they're on job sites, communicating with each other when they're carrying stuff. Like, yeah, be a little bit more specific so I can answer the question efficiently. Because there's a couple ways you could be meaning for communicate. So I want to make sure I'm understanding exactly in what facet of communication you're referring to. Only on the weekends your OTR? I don't know. I don't know, James. See now, this ain't something you told me. Fridays through Sunday regional, Monday through Thursday at home. Oh, uh, what? I don't know. I don't know, James. See now you didn't tell me that. That's something I don't know. That right there is yes, between drop offs they go missing. All right, so the first thing you do, you said you got 4 trucks, right? First thing you need to do, you need to get tracking on your trucks. That's something you should have been had. You need to invest in GPS tracking, whether it's Fleetmatics, Telematics, somebody, you need to get it. You need to know where your trucks are at all times. Just by that, they're not going to pull those stunts. All right, they're not going to pull them. All right, because you can watch the trucks, you can know how long the truck been idling, and all that stuff. That's something that I think if you're operating a fleet is a must-have. It's a must-have for this particular reason right here. Yeah, I've since day one, trucks GPS tracking. You got to invest in GPS tracking. I did a live stream. This probably was about September, October, where I discussed GPS tracking. It wasn't the live stream wasn't focused on GPS tracking, but we were talking about something I know I touched on GPS tracking. I talked about the company that I use and the perks of having it and you know all the things that come with having it. And clearly, you know, you got some guys that are playing games, so you need to know where your equipment is at. So I think you need to invest in GPS tracking, and then you won't have to worry about them going missing. Accommodating religious holidays like the weekly Sabbaths. I can't work Saturdays due to my religion. All right, so Jacob, you need to get a final amount contract that only operates 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. So that depends on, excuse me, that depends on the logistics company and the retailer. So you obviously can't work a 6 or 7 day week contract. So I know. Let me see. Cardinal, for instance, Wayfair, Bob's Discount Furniture is 5 days. So that's what Cardinal has on a 5 day week contract um, um, for a box truck. So you just need to really just go around and find something contract that's Monday through Friday. I'm gonna tell you now, Lowe's ain't gonna be 5 days. Home Depot ain't gonna be 5 days. Best Buy ain't gonna be 5 days. You need to look more at like your Ashley Furniture, your Bob's Discount Furniture, stuff like that. IKEA is 7 days. I'm trying to think. Some mattress contract. No, mattress contracts are most mattress contracts are 6 days. They don't operate on Sunday. Most mattress contracts. Uh, yeah. So you're gonna have to look around, right? Because even with Cardinal Mattress Firm is 7 days a week. So you're gonna have to look around for 5 days. But with Cardinal, you're looking at Wayfair and you're looking at Bob's Discount with that particular logistics company on a 5-day week contract. All right. So as far as other flexibility, no, you just got to find a contract that's 5 days. Yeah, Axel says, James, that won't work. Like I said, James, yeah, that's not gonna work. Like, I wish you would have told me this a long time ago. That ain't gonna work, man. I didn't want to tell you that. That's why I just said, Axel is gonna be more straightforward with you. That ain't gonna work, man. But yeah. I was telling my husband, hit them where it hurt. I think you got 4 trucks, you need GPS tracking. You need GPS tracking. You need to know everything about your trucks. You need to know when they're idle. You need to know when their heart's breaking. You need to know where they're at. You need to be able to communicate with the truck from wherever your home base or your office is at. I think if you own a fleet of trucks and you're not out on the trucks, it's your responsibility to know where your trucks are at. All right. If you give a person the opportunity to disappear on you, certain people are going to take that opportunity, especially when they know you don't have the parameters in place or the equipment or technology in place to know where they're at. Once they know this technology is in place, they're not going to pull these stunts. You see what I'm saying? They know it's not in place, so they just disappear. They don't answer the phone. They could be going home for all you know. Who knows? See, you don't even know. You see what I'm saying? So I'm going to be honest with you. It's your responsibility to know where your equipment is at all times. And I just think that GPS tracking is something that's a necessity that you must pay for when you have a fleet of trucks to kind of curb this problem that you're having right now. Those conversations that you're looking to have, you probably won't even need to have these conversations if you have the GPS tracking in place, because it's going to act as a deterrent, and they're going to know better than to play these games with you. Tough pill to swallow, I know, but it's okay. We'll talk it over after your birthday on the Mark the Mentor monthly subscription. I'm going to make it work. All right, you say you're going to make it work? Make it work. I still going to cover the mentorship with Kirk for you. So, I already gave you my word on it. So, my word is my bond. So, whenever you're ready, just let me know. It'll be sitting there waiting for you whenever you want to go over there. Just make sure you go set it up with him. I will go look for, we have talked to 2 companies, some DIY systems. Don't do a DIY system. You do what you want. Let me stop saying that. Do what you want. I think my motto has always been, if you're going to do it, do it. Don't half step nothing, especially when it comes to your business. Don't half step nothing when it comes to your person. If you can't do it the right way, then don't do it at all. I say do it or don't do it at all, but don't half step it. You see what I'm saying? So when I first looked into GPS tracking, I looked at a DIY model, and DIY models are very glitchy. They're glitchy, all right? You want to deal with a reputable company. I end up going with Fleetmatics because my commercial landlord recommended it to me because he utilized it in his fleet. It's a little bit on the pricier side, but it's quality equipment, and it's just a vast amount of stuff that you can do with it. Real quick, let's see if we can pull it up. A few years ago, Verizon bought Fleetmatics. So it's a Verizon-owned company now, and they call it Fleetmatics Reveal. Let me just share it on the screen real quick, and so you can get an idea. I don't know if you looked into this company or not. I'm not going to log in, so we just want to show you the actual software. So let me pull it up real quick. Bam. All right, so this is the software. And it's good software. You can see where your trucks are at. You can send messages to the truck if you get the correct Garmin GPS system that plugs into the actual software. You can optimize the routing for uh, uh, these guys. You can geofence, which is very important. I love the geofence. I love the geofence option. Um, and that's basically putting a geofence around an area where you want the truck to remain, and once it goes out of that geofence, it'll alert you via email or via text message or via both, however you have it set up. um uh Sends you reports, right? um it just does a lot of stuff. Um I think it's worth it, and this is the system that we've used since 2013. Um, so I recommend it. I recommend it. It's just something you're gonna have to add into your overhead. I feel like it's necessary when you're running a fleet of trucks, for the very reason that you're asking me, or you're talking about right now. So uh, I would look into that. James, weekend only will not work. Jacob, appreciate you. I leave Friday morning to be OTR at a regional distance and come home Sunday night. Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday I'm regional, local, but come home those 3 days. With Wednesday off because of my hours. Well, if you got a company that you already picked up, then who am I? You know what I'm saying? Your son is one of your drivers. If your son is one of your drivers, then I'm gonna be honest with you. Family is probably some of the worst people to deal with when it comes to business. I'm just gonna keep it 1,000 with you. They take advantage of every single opportunity they can because they family. And now, when you talk about son, he know you not gonna disown him because you his mama. So, you know, I don't want to, you know, you know, that's something that I ain't want to, talk on because that's your son. But if people coming up missing, that's serious. You know what I'm saying? Business is business. And business got to run a certain way. So that's something that you probably want to have a conversation with him about. You know what I'm saying? Um, and that's as far as I'm gonna take it because that's your son. But you know, I still get that GPS tracking though. And yeah, uh, yeah, you need to have a conversation with him. Business is business. Me and my brother, my brother was operations manager, and just me and him done tore up the office a few times. Like, this my brother, same mother, same father, and we done tore that office up a couple times. And when I say tore it up, I mean tore it up. You know, because at the end of the day, it's my business, it's my way or the highway, and if you don't agree with certain things, then I don't treat my brother, and I never treated my brother different than I treated anyone else. Um, and it those disagreements with family can end up being worse than an employee because a family member, they can take it far and they know they ain't going nowhere because they family. So, um, thank you, Mark. I appreciate the help. I ran the numbers on a cost per mile calculator that's profitable lows. The only problem is I'm a new authority. I have to find the right broker and partial rate. Yeah, get with Kirk, I'm going to set you up with Kirk. Amazon DSP drivers have a geofence on their delivery device that if you're not in the green circle, it turns orange and you're not allowed or able to release packages. I agree with Mark. We had a clown steal a van and drive to another state. Yeah, so yeah, I think Courtney, you really need to probably implement some type of tracking in your equipment. I had and I'm gonna be honest with you. I know, back when me and my ex we used to go on trips out of town, my employees knew I would be out of town, and even though I had GPS tracking, they still pulled it because they thought I was in Dubai, I was in Dominican Republic or in Cabo, wherever the hell I was at, outside of the country. They thought, well, he ain't here. So I had a guy take a truck home. But guess what? Mark always looking on my phone at the GPS. Just because I'm sitting on the beach and she would get mad. We in Jamaica. We here. Why are you working? Because look, I'm here and my truck is in Indiana. All right. Why is my truck in Indiana? Why is my truck in Gary, Indiana? Because this fool live in Gary, Indiana. He took the truck home so his girl wouldn't have to drive from Gary to Chicago to pick his goofy ass up. You see what I'm saying? But guess what? He knew, even though I called and cussed him out, right? Guess what? I'm way on the other side of somewhere else. I don't know nothing I can do. You know what I'm saying? Situation there. I had a situation one time. I was in Vegas, right? The guy who I think me and my brother was on the out. So I had this guy, I'm not going to say his name, was running the business for me in the little 4 or 5 days I was in Vegas. And he took it upon himself to take one of my trucks to go do a personal move for somebody else, probably a chick. You dig what I'm saying? Like, I'm not sitting there looking at I'm looking at the GPS throughout the day. All my trucks were in. Why is truck 2 on 76 in Champlain somewhere sitting there? I'm calling. He finally called back. Yeah, man, I went and helped. Man, you know so-and-so. Man, I went and helped him do a little move. I knew you weren't trip. Blah, 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 blah. Man, I ain't trying to hear none of that. I'm not trying to hear none of that. See, he thought he can go make some little side money utilizing my equipment, right, to do a quick little move on the side utilizing my equipment and make money and cut me out. And this is with GPS tracking. So people will pull it with you, even with the tracking. But you need to know where your vehicle is at so you can call people on their BS. And then you can, take the proper, measurements you need to take, whether it's firing, coaching them, reprimanding them, taking money out their pocket, doing however you need to do it. Then that's what you need to do. D. Whitley, what up? Is 120 an hour a good rate to move somewhere? I'm renting a 16-foot box truck from Penske, and I have 120 an hour for 2 guys is a good rate. 3 guys, 150 an hour. And that's depending on what floor to what floor. Is it a house? Is it an apartment? What floor? How many bedrooms? And then you gotta charge a truck fee too. Truck fee should be about $125. Also, it's just 2 people. Yeah, you can charge $120. But you need to charge a truck fee too. Also, what floor? What floor to what floor? So you can charge $120 an hour for the 2 guys. I would charge $125 truck fee, and if it's like a third floor if it's a third floor, then I would charge more money for the hourly. If it's a third floor with 2 guys, I really wouldn't recommend it. I would really recommend doing the third floor with 3 guys. You want to charge more money. How many bedrooms is it also? When I had a restaurant, I fired my own mom and banned her. Wow. See, I never fired my brother. We just had months off. He would just have months off until I needed it again, and I would bring him back. But my brother was something else growing up. Like, so he was heavy in the streets, and to have a brother that have a successful company, you could come in and get put into a managerial position, was great, but it would come those times where, that street side of him, that business side that I was trying to instill in him, they still had that street side in him that didn't understand, this is business. All right. So that's where we would clash. He's not like that anymore. You know, um, he's doing very, very well now. And he knows how to differentiate between the two, walks of life, where business and, that street element. So, even without him, I've hired cousins. I had a cousin that hit somebody's car and didn't tell me, you know. But so there was a witness that eventually called in, and so I had to take his check. Right, took his check. Right, it was $800, and then it was right before Christmas. But then he went to another cousin who has a little bit more, I don't want to say leverage, but an older cousin that's basically, come on, Mark, it's Christmas. He got a kid, man. Man, just man, we family, man. You got it. And I hate when they be like, man, you got it, man. Just go ahead and just, man, he got a kid and it's Christmas and he need that. And he regretted calling me, later on. He understood, like, man, that was business and he messed up. You did right. I regret calling you like that. But, I just, and even though it was family, I took the whole check to pay for the deductible, because he was at fault turning out of an alley. He sideswiped somebody's car instead of just going through the alley to the next. If somebody parked all the way to the end of the alley and you couldn't make that turn because you're in a big truck without clipping that car, you should have just kept going to the next, through the next alley to the next street where you could have made the turn. And just not saying nothing, that's just not cool. You in a company branded truck, not a solid white truck. You in a company branded truck, big 888 number, company name. Like, man, people see it. All right. So, family called and talked me into giving him his check. So, family is just difficult, because if you weren't family, I done took people's whole checks before that's done scratched floors and did all type of stuff, and it got ugly. I done told some stories where it done got ugly and I had to stand on business. You see what I'm saying? But, with family, they get this type of like rite of passage, which just, no, it ain't cool, man. I work for my dude and he has fired me a few times. He and I are very different business people. Oh, wow. Mark, I don't driver, but I hired driver for my box truck when I was doing OTR, but for final miles, they require one driver and one helper, and they are paying $650 a day. Can I make money after expenses? Any contract that's paying $650 a day, stay away from it. It's not enough. It's not enough. You need at least $750 a day to see some type of money. $650 a day is not enough. So if you're looking to do final mile, you need to find contractors that pay $750 minimum and up. $650 a day, no, stay away from it. I had bosses lend me their vehicle to move only because I asked them first and because I was a valuable driver. Flat to flat, 4-bedroom. All right, so a 4-bedroom house or apartment, you're gonna need more than a 16-foot box truck. You're gonna need a 26-footer. You can do it in a 16-footer, but you probably gonna have to make 2 trips, maybe 3, depending on how much stuff they have. If it's a 4-bedroom house, you might have to make 3 trips. I suggest, if you're doing a 4-bedroom house or 4-bedroom apartment, you're going to need 3 guys. You're going to need a 26-foot box truck. You can make the 16-foot work, but it's going to be multiple trips. But I would really think about finding a third guy. All right. You need to make that move efficient as possible. Yeah. I would find a third man. I would charge $150 an hour. I would charge a $125 truck fee. If you're gonna have to make multiple trips, you're gonna have to charge a $175 truck fee. If you get a 26-foot truck, it'll be one trip. You charge a $175 truck fee. You charge $150 an hour with a 2-hour minimum. All right. My brother is younger than me. He's younger than me by 5 years. So he'll be 38 this year. Yeah, and I'll be 43 on Sunday. He'll be 38 in September. So he's younger brother, you know. I have a young brother I haven't talked to in 5 years because he called me the N-word. We weren't raised. Oh, man. He called you the N-word. Wow.
No, God, please, no! No!
You know,
No!
you do.
No!
You do hang around. I think you hang around. You done hung around some black people in your lifetime. I could tell. Maybe that's why he did it. I would have took it as a compliment if I were you. So I wouldn't have took it the wrong way. I'd have took it as a compliment. Mark, it's midnight here on the East Coast, and I looked up my authority, and it says authorized for property. Let's go. Congratulations, man. All right, so James is finally authorized, so congratulations, James. I know it's been a long time coming. You've been talking about this for a few weeks now, so congratulations. Congratulations. Penske only has 16. We're going to have to make that 16 work, but it's going to be some trips, though. So make sure you let the customer know that you got a 16 because they may be expecting something bigger, and let them know that you're going to make multiple trips. And if you do make multiple trips, you let them know ahead of time so that when you're making that, after that first drop off and you're making that commute back to do that second pickup, you keep that clock running. You don't stop that clock. That's why you let them know up front. So that clock don't stop. Once you start that clock don't stop until the job is complete. You know what I'm saying? So all right. Yeah, so Axel, yeah, you should have took that as a compliment, man. I wouldn't have got mad at him. But all right, y'all. Time to get into my third accident in the last 5 years to increase my premium. Oh, that's right. You a person that's paying $3,000 a month for insurance or $4,000 a month for insurance. That's right. I knew it was somebody. All right, man, you gotta stop talking like that and jinxing yourself, man, before it happens. You might speak it into existence. Mark, I once had a Jamaican girlfriend, but got rid of her. She was always biting me during boom boom. All right, man, it's time to go. All right, I'm out, y'all. Every time, either right when it gets about that 11 o'clock hour, either he started talking about lot lizards or something else crazy. That's my cue to get up out of here. Hey, Axel, next week, man, we're going to have company, man. So, man, I need you to behave. Hey, Pippi, I'm letting you know now. If Axel come in while I got these corporate people on my channel, put them on timeout for the remainder of the live. Please. You're not going to come in here and embarrass me while we got company. And I mean that too, Axel. I swear to God, on my grandmother's grave. You come in here next week acting, it's okay when we ain't got company, but when there's company in here, I need you on your best behavior. After company leaves, you can act a damn fool. All right? So, Pippi, time out for Axel. And anybody else that get out of line next week, like instantly. Ain't no second chances. As soon as you see, just hit the button. Hit the button. For real. All right? So it's time to get up out of here. Because whenever he get to talking crazy, it's time for me to go. All right, so like I said, Sunday I may come on early. If not, then I'll come on maybe Monday or Tuesday. The company is coming next Thursday. I'll post this one more time. Next Thursday, John, which is senior manager of contractor recruiting for Cardinal Logistics, will be here. We're gonna have a conversation. We're gonna do a Q&A, and I'm gonna open the Q&A up for you guys to ask questions. Make sure the questions are good. Everybody may not get to get their question answered because I'm gonna cherry pick them. So make sure you got a good question. The people who are interested in running or have applied to run for Cardinal prior to him coming on, I may hold precedence over because they are actively recruiting. If you do have a general question from an IC to a logistics executive standpoint, that's a general question. Feel free to ask that as well. He's a pretty cool guy. So take advantage of the opportunity. It won't be the last opportunity. It'll just be the first. So, it'll be next Thursday at 8 p.m. So make sure you guys are here on time because I'm bringing him on right away. So as soon as we come on, as soon as the intro comes on, I'm going to do a brief 1-minute introduction and I'm going to bring him on. And he'll probably be on for an hour. Maybe if I can keep an hour and a half, so be it. But we're probably looking at about an hour. So make sure you guys are here on time. Christopher, what's up, Mark? Keep the good content. Christopher, appreciate you. I'm gonna do my best, man. Mark and this chat community, you guys are great. Thank you all. See you guys next time. James, appreciate you. I'm gonna contact Kirk tomorrow. I'm gonna cover that partial coaching session for you. So whenever you're ready, just go on over there. Be paid for already. It's Cardinal only for box trucks or vans too. Box trucks, and semi trucks. I don't think they do any expedited van work, but box trucks and semi trucks. They're hiring for Mattress Firm, Home Depot, Bob's Discount Furniture, Mattress Firm, and a few other accounts right now. So make sure you're here, D. Whitley, if you are looking to have any questions or possibly on board with Cardinal. And I'll have some other companies coming on in the near future. Monjay, great information. Appreciate you for checking out the live. All right, guys, man, I appreciate y'all. Possibly see y'all Sunday, if not Sunday, Monday or Tuesday. And then back again Thursday with Cardinal Logistics. You guys stay up. Stay safe out there. Stay blessed. And until next time, I'm out. Peace.